What's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me here. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hi. Welcome to the Miss Phins Show. I am your host, Miss Phins. Appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you. Please hit the like button on your way in, guys. Hit the like button on your way in. I don't even know what to say no more, guys. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry. We're gonna discuss the Miami Dolphins versus the Colts game preview today, guys. So stay tuned on Motivation Monday. What am I motivating for? What's the point? It's this freaking team. I'm telling you guys, I'm sorry. I might be PG-13 today. Because I don't know how to deal with this no more. This team, I'm telling you. You know what? Let's start with the super positive. Shout out to the University of Miami, baby. Let's go, Canes. Let me bring it out here real quick. Let's go, Canes, baby. Yeah, I got them all, of course. Let's go, Hurricanes. Hurricanes, Hurricanes, Hurricanes. Oh, this is right here, the saving grace, ladies and gentlemen. This is the saving grace. Thank God. The U is perfect right now. Oh, man. Not going to lie to you. Thank God. The Hurricanes are killing it, man. Hurricanes are killing it. I'm so happy. To me, they should be top 4. We gotta see what what the college football rankings come out. Did they already come out? I don't think so. I think they come out today or tomorrow, right, guys? Help me out here. But man, let me tell you something. The Miami Hurricanes right now, they're killing it. Shout out to you, Aquavision. Thank you for reminding me there's beautiful, brighter days ahead of us, guys. So fret not. We are good. What's up, Nene? How you doing? The Hurricanes are showing how you win close games. The Dolphins show you how you close games. You just can't. Oh my gosh. I can't believe Daddy did say this. I can't let my kiddo suffer this. So PG-13 is needed, Miss Phins. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Today will be PG-13. PG-13. Shout out to the Florida Panthers. Because I gotta represent. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my Florida teams who are keeping me sane because this Dolphins team, you just can't make this up. Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, I don't know. Listen. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna give you my preview. Give me like 15 minutes, guys. And I'm opening it up for us because we need to talk about this. Because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. Something's gotta give with this team. Something's gotta change. Something's gotta change. And we're gonna talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. But I need you guys' help. Hit that like button for me, guys. Because I need the support, especially with these. And yes, that's why I put it bum Miami Dolphins because I want to say something else, but I gotta keep it, PG-13. So, but what am I? What are we gonna do? Like, it's ridiculous. This, this team, it's almost like we care more than they do. Like, I almost feel like they don't even care. Like, for them, it's like, whatever. It's a paycheck. A paycheck? I mean, I get it. You're there to do your job, but when you're not even doing your job, when you got the coach calling timeouts, when you're like, you just stopped our forward momentum. Now you want to call a timeout? I can't. This looking guy. I can't. It's almost as if, and this is what I said. This is okay. I need you guys to understand something. When I say something and it might sound, oh my God, Miss Phins, you're just being a hater, you're being outrageous. No, it's because I've seen the patterns. Just because I noticed it before you guys, that don't mean I'm a hater. Just means I noticed it before. And I know it's not fun to talk about it. But this team is ridiculous. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, guys. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Thank you so much for coming through. Again, today, I can't do this alone. I can't. So y'all feel free. Get in the back. I'm going to let you guys get it out. There's no other way of saying it. Like, we got to get it out. We do. Because at this point, you know what? I'm gonna make it better on pen. Let me do it this way. Yeah, because I think this will be better. Call in. There you go. There you go. Oh no, might be better if I do it all caps. Call in. Perfect. What's up? I already got a couple people. I love it, guys. Stay in the back for me. I told you, give me literally 15 minutes. I just have to go through the regular stuff like we always do. Because remember, we give you all the information over here when it's Phins. I don't want to half-ass it either. So let me go ahead and just pull it up real quick. So that way we can go through it. I just need literally maybe 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. But shout out real quick while I'm pulling this up. Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Aquavision, Dolphineer, Nene, one of our newest awesome members, Mr. Michael K. How does everyone have the strength to continue? I don't anymore. So I feel you. Another one of our awesome members, Hooked Up Joe in the building. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, word of mouth? How you doing, buddy? Dad Dean, Mean Green, everybody else. Steve, welcome. I see you, my friend. Cat for Life is in the building. Thank you. Manolo, welcome. Adam S., one of our awesome members. Thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. Let me pull this up because we got to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you all the info here. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen real quick. Bear with me. Let's just start out with the elephant in the room. And anybody that feels offended when I say this, too bad. Okay? Because I'm just tired. You know, I can't make them get better. We can't, as a fan base, make them do better. They have to do better. But we have gotten garbage from this team starting last year. This is why I kept this schedule. You know, I have it on my thingy here because you guys know I keep receipts. But guys, when was the last good game we've had? Please, somebody put it in the chat. When was the last good game we've had as a team? Please, because I could think of one, and it was literally the last good game we had as an offense and defense. That's a complete team. Somebody put it here because it wasn't this year. There was the last game this Dolphins team had that was actually a good game. What's up, one of our awesome members? Dolphin State of Mind, the building. Adam S. in the building, too. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. Thank you. New York Jets at home. Second half versus Jackson. Nope, not at all. True Blazer got it. New York Jets. Not the Cowboys, Nene. Absolutely not. That was Sanders who did that. It was only Sanders. Dad Dean says Denver. Nope. The Jets game at home when we went 30-0. That was the last complete game that Miami Dolphins has played. Let me see what week that is. This is week 18, 17, 16, 15. Week 15 of last year. Week 15. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12 weeks ago. 12 weeks ago. 12 weeks ago. That was the last time. 10 and 16. You just can't make this up. Quarterback Richardson's late scoring drive sends Colts past Dolphins 16-10. Anthony Richardson didn't even bother to look at the stats on Sunday, according to the AP. This is garbage. Look at this. 7 points. I was like, oh, 7-0? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. We got a kick. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. So you mean to tell me we got a field goal when that should have been a touchdown? We should have been up 14-3. Our defense did their job. Second half. That should have been you see it right here. That should have been a touchdown. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Tyler Huntley, 7 of 13, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Richardson, 10 of 24, 129 yards. Devon Achane, 15 carries, 77 yards. Anthony Richardson for his team, 14 carries, 56 yards. For receiving, we had Jonnu Smith, 7 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. They had Michael Pittman Jr., 3 receptions, 63 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, at least, and thank you, Dolphins in the mind, exactly what I was about to say. At least one of our tight ends has scored in the last 2 years since Mike Gesicki did for us. But don't worry, this is the only production you will see out of Jonnu Smith all year because Tua Tagovailoa is allergic to tight ends. Yes, I said it. Moving on. Now you got, look at this. Look, we had the game. We had the game. And we gave it up. We even won in all the stats. 330 except turnovers. 337 total yards versus 284. We had 2 turnovers. They only had 1. We had 18 first downs. They had 16. And third conversions, they had 3 of 14 third down conversions, guys. Our defense was awesome. What more can I ask of our defense? Time of possession was practically the same. 30-30. What else could we possibly ask of this defense, ladies and gentlemen? I get that they were favored by 3.5 points at home. That don't mean jack. We should have won that game. That defense sucked. What up, Lance? What's up, Dad Dean? How you guys doing? Help me out here. I just can't right now. Guys, everybody, the call-in show is available. Please do me a favor. Go ahead and click the link. Talk to me, gentlemen. What do you guys got on this?
We need to blow it up. That's all I could say. I mean, for one, we have what, 2 of the fastest receivers, and how many passes did we throw? 13.
Yeah, by Boyle. I mean, by Huntley. Boyle, I think, had another 8, maybe.
I mean, if we have 2 of the best catchers, well, I wouldn't say catchers, but 2 of the fastest guys, why would you only throw the ball to them 13 times in the whole game?
They didn't even get it. So they each had 13 attempts, Boyle and Huntley. Boyle went 8 of 13. Tyler Huntley went 7 of 13. Boyle had 74 yards. No touchdown, no nothing.
That's just pathetic.
Let me see receiving. Hold on. Receiving. Jonnu Smith caught 7 receptions, right?
7, yeah.
7 receptions. Let me make it a little bit smaller so I can see the targets. 7 receptions out of 7. Shout out to Jonnu Smith, man.
And the rest of the team got 8 total.
Thank you. Thank you. Hooked up Joe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you flipping kidding me? You mean to tell me that Tyreek Hill only had 2 targets and caught 1?
And he should have had the other one. He just wasn't looking.
Absolutely.
He just. I
lost it in the light. What?
Oh, stop.
PG-13. It's okay. What the bleep are you talking about, you mom? Lost it in the light. Like we don't play in the sun. Are you kidding me, man? And that ball, it's just, you know what's so annoying? The announcers. Oh my God, we had the worst announcers. They're like, oh, that doesn't look catchable. I'm like, what the heck do you mean? If Tyreek would have looked, that ball was right there to him in his back shoulder.
And it only seems like they want to play when turn the ball over, Lua. You know,
It's
thrice.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What you got on this, Dad Dean?
13 points per game average for the last 10 games. That's what I got. 13 points per game, including all the way back to Dallas. That's unacceptable, especially with the offense that we have.
That we
Dude.
supposedly have.
Oh,
Right.
right? But weren't we told we have the best offense? My man Daniel was about here to bring the Mike Genius.
Jim McGenius guy.
I never call him that. I make fun of everybody that called him that. I'm like, the man hasn't even like done one play. What do you
Well,
mean?
that, and we ended up with him because there was nobody else.
Nobody. The minute it was literally reported, nobody accepted the job because they were forced to have Tua. That whole garbage of the the head coach is gonna be the one that's gonna determine who the quarterback. Yeah, right. It was reported that they were all asked. So what can you do with Tua? Can you play with Tua? What can you get out of Tua? And they told the truth, and they didn't get the job.
And really, Shanahan, if Shanahan didn't want McDaniels to come over, he wouldn't be here either.
He didn't, which is why he wasn't initially. If we would have had Flores as the head coach and McDaniel as the OC, this would have actually worked. But unfortunately, what happens is when you go to the extreme, you get a Matt Gase 2.0. And this is worse because this is three
Is it a 2.0?
times the most expensive team we've had.
Miss Phins, even
I mean,
if it was switched right now where Weaver was the head coach. Just think about it. If Weaver was the head coach.
It don't matter.
One reason that
McDaniel
we
was the OC.
I think one reason Campbell is doing as good as he is because he doesn't try to run one part of the team. He runs the team. And when we were originally looking for a coach and we got McDaniel, what I wanted was a coach that had head coaching experience that did not want to call his own plays. That was like my primary criteria for a head coach, being a casual, nobody that doesn't know anything. That's what I wanted, and I'm like, okay, good. I was wrong again, and because, I've been high on McDaniel, hoping he was going to do it. But when you see our offense get figured out and we don't have any way to change it. That's the problem I have is that, if they figure us out and they block I don't see how another team can be back double covering all of our super speedy receivers and keeping us from running effectively at the same time unless our scheme is just for crap.
But you're more worried about the O-line than we are. I'm not even here to blame the O-line because the run game was doing well. Obviously, they're better at run blocking than they are pass blocking.
Yeah.
But the quarterbacks had enough time to throw the ball.
And realistically, if you can't throw, they are going to stack the box. But when they stack the box, that's why Smith had so much. He was the one player they weren't really focusing on, right? And so he was 7 for 7. He got everything, right? Whereas the rest of the team, they're just they did bring it up. We're stacking it on us, trying to, we couldn't run. And at that point, we couldn't do anything. It was the exact opposite. Usually it used to be they stop us from being able to pass and we can't do anything. Now it's the opposite. They stop us from being able to run and we're just stymied.
It's so bad, guys,
that's the whole thing. McDaniel got figured out.
Well, yeah, because all he wants to do really is dink and dunk.
That's
know,
not even about the dinking and I would have taken a
it,
dinking and dunking at this point.
well,
That's not
yeah,
even it.
well, but
Yes.
to utilize Tyreek and Waddle, you need to let them run because that's what they're best at. Get downfield, and they can get down there fast. And if you get a good quarterback, that hey, there's nothing that could stop us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the biggest con job in NFL history. I don't care what nobody tells me. We are being conned. Period. Absolutely being conned. 1000%. This team right now, all I'm seeing from this team is a massive con job. And to drive the nail in our coffin, guys, Nene said it best. But everyone got extended. It should have been, and everyone got extended.
Yep.
We warned you about this in the off season. I don't know how many panels, guys. Help me out. How many panels did we have about this? You never know what's going to happen year 2. Give them a chance. Let them play. They're all signed already. And see, and then make the decisions.
But this also goes back to the last time that I was on here. It's all about filling Ross's pocketbook. That's all
Well,
it
it's
is.
not working out great now for him with the losing
Well,
team.
he doesn't care.
He should have
though.
sold when he got $10 billion. He would have doubled
Well,
his
yeah.
net worth and been able to just.
Hey, I agree, but he wants that money. He wants money more than he wants wins.
Yeah, well, he lost
It's
$2
all
billion with these losses. It's freaking your team isn't
Hey,
that great. It's not that
but he
great.
still made money.
Oh well, yeah.
So I mean, really, and he's still making money. People are still buying stuff. I'll say stuff.
Yeah. People are still buying stuff. And that's
Them
the sad part.
them jerking around the season ticket holders is not aging well, is it? They have one team where they finally have a waiting list or whatever on season tickets, and they were basically jerks to their season ticket holders to keep it PG-13 from what I've
So
been seeing.
what
And
did you
other
what
people
did you
trying to
hear?
become.
What
They're
did you hear, Hook the
canceling
Duck?
people's tickets, jacking up the prices crazy are the two. Canceling a lot of tickets. I understand if you have a waiting list, you got to cancel tickets on but if you've been a fan and you've been buying tickets for 15 years and you don't even get a second warning on something or anything about, I heard quite a few instances there, but I'm just talking, that's all rumor. So, but it sure
No, it's
seemed
not
like
rumor.
story after
I heard
story
that's
after
what I
story
heard.
I was hearing. It was like, man, they're really being not nice with their season tickets
So
here.
in some
Jerking
way,
people
we are
around.
to blame. In some ways, we are still to blame. I mean, as long as people are buying, until you stop buying everything, and when you stop buying things and the stadium is empty, you know, uh, that's going to say a statement. But there's always going to be someone, a lot of people. Even Cap. El Cap had a good idea. Whether a lot of people want to do it or not is another thing. Is just show up to the tailgate, and then when the tailgate's over, leave.
That's why they made the parking passes cost more than a ticket.
Yeah. Well, and if that's the case, well, I don't know. Just not show up.
The problem I have with our whole scheme is that when you have somebody like Tua that's let's call him a savant at knowing where he's supposed to throw the ball or whatever, how in the hell is somebody else going to come in and do that? How are you going to even have a backup quarterback? You have to have two completely different game plans you have to have two different skill sets. You have to have, when you don't have a guy that can get rid of it in 2.1 seconds and actually make something happen, I mean, you can hand it off.
That is so nice of you to say he's a savant. You know what I'm saying? I really like how you put that there. But Tua Tagovailoa is not a savant
Well, that
of
was in
throwing the ball.
quotes. That was kind of, I'm doing air quotes there. I'm saying, but he is that's his key strength. The point is you have to admit his strongest skill as a player is his ability to hit the spot he needs to hit and understand the scheme and read the defense and hit where he needs to hit in order to make these tight plays. I mean, we were looking at him when he was on the game and playing. He's hitting, and he's like, why did he even throw that? There were three people around him. He's doing that. No other quarterback's going to hit that throw. So, what are you going to do with your game plan when your whole game plan is throw it at a triple covered guy because your guy happens to know exactly the right spot to put it? And soon as he isn't on his perfect game and isn't hitting that, and you try to get a backup quarterback, it's just we can see we have no game plan whatsoever. And
Or if the receivers can't get to that spot, if they figure out the his plan, his offensive plan, play calling, and the receivers can't get that spot, it's all blown up.
yep, that's true.
Yep.
Like Tua wasn't doing that great even when he was in. So when Tua comes back, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say it, and I was saying is Tua's not going to fix this. That what we got right now, Tua, I don't see how Tua is going to come back and all of a sudden make zero game plan turn into. I mean, we probably would have won last night. You know what I mean? But that's back to the beat bad teams because we would have just got over the hump enough to be able to beat the freaking Colts, right?
This
And
wasn't
I'm
even
Mr.
like a big
Positive, man. I'm
team.
not, you know me. I'm always positive, but that's
You
just
are.
how it is.
You're always positive. You're not nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But you know what? What I've come to find out that does this team even deserve our positiveness anymore?
Well, no, I was being negative. That's what I'm saying. I'm usually positive, but right now I am not.
I just can't. I don't have the strength right now to deal to go through this because this team, man. Listen,
I know what could
you,
cheer everybody up.
I don't want to be cheered up. I'm
Watch
pissed.
the U.
I am not trying to be cheered up. I am upset, man.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of trying to dance around the fact that, guys, we got a good team. No, we don't have a good team. And to make matters worse, we don't have a coach.
I mean, in reality, I could do better, and I'm not even like football knowledge wise, compared to a lot of people. But I could put together a better team, better planning than this.
This is so disappointing in so many ways because it makes you feel like why have we even done? Forget it. Don't even talk to me about no rebuild or nothing. This isn't Flores's rebuild. This. I don't even know what it is. You know what it is? It's a hot mess. That's what it is. This hot
That's
mess
exactly what I
of
was
a
going to
team.
say. A hot mess of a team. And you seen
That's
Coach McDaniel give the Godfather kiss to Tua. And you seen his face afterwards after Tua got injured. And he knew it. This offense was built for Tua only, and that was his mistake. He should have had a backup plan in case if Tua got injured, where he can have play calls for a regular, normal quarterback.
That's a
Well,
cool scheme layout.
it is, and the thing is, they only want to play for him. You can't change my mind on that.
that's the part. No, yeah, you can't. That's the part that's just. I literally was tweeting out. Is it me or do we look like we're out there with our whole backup team? Like it was like we were with none of our starters. That's what it felt like. We were literally playing with nothing but our backups.
When Tua
This is
got
almost
hurt,
Felt like
starting
and
to
they
the
get
pulled,
the
scrub
feel.
league.
What was
again.
the year that we lost almost every single game? What
Oh,
year
you the
was
1
that?
in 16, 1 in 15 year?
Yeah,
I don't know, guys. Help me out in the chat. What year
that
was
this is
that?
almost what this feels like.
No, because I
Because
heard
in
somebody
reality, we
say,
should never beaten Jacksonville. I mean, we got lucky in that game.
"Oh, we were a punch out away from being
You know what this
1 in
feels like?
6
Like the
or 1 in
NFL
5."
strike year. When the NFL went on strike, this is what this team feels like. The scrub team.
Look at we have to be the worst division in the league. How are we the worst division, guys? How
Well,
are
no, I
we the
wouldn't say we're
worst
the
division?
division. Nah, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? Okay. Prove me wrong, sir.
Well, division?
Division. How is the AFC East not the worst division?
it's
I
the
don't know.
worst
You still
division.
got the Bills and the Jets.
The
Who?
Jets are here. Scroll up. Let's look at them Jets again.
Thank you. Thank you. Hooked
Are
up,
they that
Joe.
bad? I still. Oh, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
Oh, Lance, you are. Let me tell you something.
okay,
The Jets
I could be
do
wrong.
what we all know they do, and they jetted.
Right.
They're absolutely bad. And they had, Devontae Adams. Now, people are going to say, it's okay, guys. It's only one game. They're going to get together and the timing. No. That
ESPN
defense
has
look.
not updated their numbers.
Mm-mm. They did update. Oh, the ESPN. Yeah, no. Here they updated it because their loss is right there.
Yeah, Rodgers is washed.
Jets
Yeah,
are
so
2 and
Sorry,
5.
maybe it was me.
The
So
Maybe it
Jets are
was
2
me.
and 5.
Yeah,
so
my
maybe
bad. I
And the
we are
needed
the
to.
Bills are
worst.
My bad.
5
My
and 2.
bad. My bad. I needed to refresh it. Oops. Oops, said it again.
Okay, see how bad the Jets are, because the Jets were even worse than what you showed there. The Jets are 2 and
Exactly.
5.
Yeah.
So no,
Hey,
the Jets
so
are
yeah,
not powerhouse. So if you look at that, we have what 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins in our whole division.
In the whole division, guys. You
yeah. So we
look
are
at
the
the
worst.
losses stacked. Look at the losses stacked. You can't even minus the Bills, who again are doing what they do. You at least 2 teams with 3 and more wins.
Right.
Yo,
Number
we're the only
second
ones.
place.
We're the only ones.
We're
Because
second place in the
I
division
can't
at
even
3 and
talk
4.
about the AFC West because guess what? At least they're 2 and 5. They don't got a 1-win team. You see what I mean? Like
And
the
2 and
sad part
4 is
is,
second place in ours.
you see what I mean? We are the worst division in the entire NFL, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen. And the Miami Dolphins literally went from having the best offense since sliced bread to dead last. I haven't even shown you guys
one
the
slice
rest.
of bread.
Let me show you this. We're by the fact that we have taken our bye week is the only reason why we're even flipping second. This is why the Jets are bums, 4-time losers. Patriots, we already know they're rebuilding, so they don't even matter. And you know what? I still think the Patriots are doing better than us. Why? Because at least they have a quarterback they can actually build around. I like Drake May, and I think if he gets developed right, he actually is going to be good. He's going to be decent enough to get them some wins and maybe even take them to a playoff game. But what are we going to do? Because you can't even. We've got the worst differential. I'm not counting the Patriots because they're the Patriots. Guys, we scored 70 points. 70
Oh,
points
I
is
got to
6
run,
wins.
guys. Fins up.
Fins up, hooked up, Joe. Thanks for coming through, buddy.
Our fan just kind of slanted like an orca.
I'm 70 points, ladies and gentlemen. Has anybody scored less than us? Has anybody scored less than us? We have scored the least amount of points in the AFC. Holy smokes. The Chargers scored 91. They haven't gotten to the triple digits yet. New England, it's at 99. They're closer to the triple digits than we are. In the NFC, let's check this out.
I'm going to start saying Phins down.
In the NFC, ladies and gentlemen, points for. Even them, 99, almost 100. I'm not even going to count the Giants. Guys, we have the worst offensive output in the entire league. 70 points. No other team is even close to being that bad. Practically everybody else is triple digits already. The Chargers are at 91. I'm not even, whatever. They're at least in the 90s, so I'm not even going to count them. They're practically triple digits. We're the only team who's barely above 50 points scored in 6 weeks. Think about that. And people want to say, no, Missy, you gotta, it's, you gotta, Missy, you gotta understand, Missy. What do I gotta understand? That this mother team is hot garbage? Too late. I already know that. What am I supposed to understand? This team is showing you. They're showing you this. I got a video for us, guys. Let me go ahead and save it, peeps. Let me go ahead and save it. What up, Lance? I guess it's just you and me. You and I. Need to go, but want to say one last thing. Oh, man, that thing, you should have said it. Put it in the chat. I'll highlight it. I need a starter jacket, too. We hit 70 in one game last season. Dude, Dolphins set of mine just hit that on the head. Go ahead, Dad Dean. Tell us what you wanted to say before you got out of here.
All I have to say to Coach McDaniel and Greer, if they don't win a playoff game, all three of them need to go.
Well, they're not going. We're not going. We need to get rid of Ross, too.
At this point, I just want his daughter. Maybe his daughter might be ruthless and cutthroat and actually make some real decisions. Maybe she might do it. Maybe. Like in the movie Any Given Sunday, when Cameron Diaz, the daughter, took over for her dad, and she started making some aggressive cuts. Well, guess what? That team made it to the playoffs. And if I'm not mistaken, that Miami Sharks team with steaming Willie Beeman, I'm steaming Willie Beeman.
I think
Dennis Quaid, Jamie Foxx, Al Pacino. Awesome movie. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Any Given Sunday.
I think if we go 8-3, we'll make the playoffs.
You're
if
so
we go
adorable.
anything less than 8-3, then
let's check that out.
we're not
8-3. 8-3 is what we're talking about.
I don't think we'll do it, but if we do, then McDaniel saves his job.
I mean, yeah, that's the only way. That I agree with you. If we go 8-3, get to the playoffs, win that playoff game, they all get saved. Period. It's not even a question. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean?
And that's what I said.
I say the three.
I said in the beginning of the year, the most games we're going to win is like 8 to 9, and 9 is pushing it. And nobody believed me. Well, a few people.
We need to be out of those. We cannot lose to Buffalo. We cannot lose to the Jets.
That's a loss, bro.
That's a loss.
I told you this since the beginning. We're losing to the Bills.
Well,
don't be mad. It is.
We're losing to the Jets.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying we need to win against Buffalo, and we need to beat the Jets twice. We need to win against Buffalo and the Jets twice.
Dude, I don't even know if we're gonna beat the Patriots. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing that we have going. We got to beat Buffalo at their home. If we don't beat Buffalo, then I don't think we have a chance. So Tua,
I
here's
agree.
your 1 million chance that you had. Here you go, Tua. Beat Buffalo at Buffalo.
It's Miss
And,
Finch. Are we doing a score prediction for Friday? We'll do that Friday. I don't want to think
imagine
No,
going
about
to
it.
the
no.
playoffs
Say
with 8 wins. That's embarrassing in itself.
I saw that not last year, the year before
The
we
year
turned to
before, yeah,
17 wins. Yeah,
yeah. I
it
mean, but that's
was.
embarrassing.
But that was what? That was a division with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
That
All
division,
right,
the
guys. I got to get going. The fire department's here. I got to talk
so-
to them and train them about this fire alarm system.
Okie
So,
dokie, man. You keep at it. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. Hit the like button. Love you, Dad Dean. See ya. Take care,
okay.
guys.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Guys, we got the call-in show today. I know I'm not the only one upset, so go ahead and come through and talk to us live if you've got it. Talk to us live because this is ridiculous. You can't make this up. This team is so frustrating. And you know what's even funnier, Lance? I said this when we were doing our score prediction because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be like I always am. I give you my homer me, my super homer me. I give you my realistic me, and then I give you my super realistic me. I don't know if you guys remember when I told you we're going 6-11. Just the very first time this schedule came out, I'm like, okay, just looking at the opponents, 6-11. When the schedule came out, I remember 6-11. Why? Because I'm like, this isn't an easy schedule. We just went through the easiest part of the schedule right now. This is the easiest part of the schedule. Forget week 13. Week 13 and on, we're screwed. But this is the easiest part of the schedule. And guess what? It looks like we weren't up to it. What's up, Cat for Life? What's up, Nene? How you guys doing? Thank you so much for coming through.
Oh, good morning.
What's
Good
up,
morning.
Cap?
Just let
Hold
me
on.
know
Morning,
when I
Cap.
can say my piece because I got to get a workout in. But
Ladies first,
just
say
let
your
me.
piece.
Say it, girl.
Well,
Say
well,
it.
well. Here's the thing that I like. Just when I think about this team, right? I think what the issue is, and I said this when the news broke that Mike McDaniel got the extension, right? Is that he was still in hot water if something was to happen if we started losing, and here we are. But what I think the problem is the team is so invested in personal feelings that they're not making the right football decisions. I'm not even saying business decisions. I think they're making business decisions, and what I mean by that is whenever they make a mistake in the draft or something like that, they bring in a big name like Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey. I know OBJ is a little bit on the downslide, but that pattern from the front office, not just Greer, but that front office that's the way that they keep the starving Miami Dolphin fan hopeful that we finally turned it around. And what I think is so unfair to Mike McDaniel, he's basically in the same place that Brian Flores was in. He's literally in the same place that Adam Gase was. And the only consistent thing is
Aw.
that top leadership. And I'm not saying that Mike McDaniel is not making mistakes. Now, I only saw the first half of the game, and then I had to get on a Zoom call, so I really wasn't paying attention because I had something important to do. But what I am saying to you is this: I remember when a lot of people said that anybody could run this offense because of the weapons that Tua has. It's time to have that conversation that that's not a true statement, right? It looked that way. It looked easy that you could just bring anybody in
Hold
here.
up. Hold up.
Well, I'm not saying
Because
you as fans. I'm
no,
saying
no,
the
no, no, not
collective.
that, not that. I'm saying we've only had backups to do it. You're not out here putting an actual starter in this. You bring in
Right.
Mahomes, you bring in, you know what I'm saying? Like you bring in a Lamar, you bring in like an actual starter.
Right,
Then
but
yeah, I still think it's
that's
horseshit.
not. But that's not the point I was making. There was people that thought you could really get another quarterback, and because of the talent that the talent was making Tua. And I'm not the biggest Tua fan, but we have to acknowledge that Tua being out there with those particular guys and the timing offense. And this is another reason why I get so upset with Greer and anybody else that's making decisions. You cannot have a timing offense and then wait to the last minute to adjust things. Now, if they would have brought in, let's say, Tyler Huntley or somebody else, maybe at the beginning of the offseason, and they had time to work with Tyreek, time to work with Hill. But here's the other problem. A lot of those guys weren't even practicing. So, and I think Mike McDaniel, and people did not want to agree with me, and people still not going to agree with me. But I think he's doing what Flores wouldn't do and following orders. I think he's being told what to do, how to do it, and he's saying yes. And because of that, he's the one that's taking all of the venom. He's the one that's taking all of the attacks because he's saying yes. Remember what happened to the guy that said no. Remember what happened to the guy that told Greer and Ross to F themselves, that they don't know football, and what you're asking me to do is not a winning formula. I don't think Mike McDaniel, with his pedigree, even if he wanted to, can push back against what they're possibly telling him to do. That's the one side of it. The other side of it is just the leadership. And I'm going to land very quickly because I know Cap going to have a lot to say, and so is other. But when I looked on the sideline and I saw Tyreek Hill and Waddle just laughing it up, chucking it
You
up,
mean the video
right?
I'm about to play right now? You mean this one
It
right here? Man,
And
you really
remember what
can't.
Greer
Laughing and keying after getting like down a game. It's becoming a bad habit.
It's ridiculous, is what it is.
It's
Like, are you
it's
kidding me?
sad. That's what it
What's
is.
up,
It's
Mr.
sad.
Polk? How you doing, sir?
Angry.
Go ahead. I don't know who wants to go first, if it's Cap for Life or Mr. Polk. One of you
Now
Go
you
guys
ahead.
guys
can go
go
ahead.
ahead. You
Cap,
guys
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
No,
Mr. Polk.
it's
Get it off your
sad
chest.
because it's sad because they need. My late oldest brother said it about a couple years ago. He said that the Miami Dolphins need to clean house from top to bottom, and I kind of just brushed it off. But now I see what he means because man, this it's terrible. Everyone, Ross, Greer, especially Greer, need to go. McDaniels, I'm sorry. We can give him a little thing. I can't give McDaniels enough because he needs to go too. He needs to go along with a couple of these players because I've seen watch Tyreek and Waddle just run out, do their little thing, run and then do the nut, then try to come back and help the quarterback out. It's just so many things that's wrong, and it's not going to be fixed with Tua coming back. I'm sorry. It's not going to be fixed with him coming back. And I'm going to say something
Nope.
else. And I'm not Tua hater, and I'm not Tua lover. Tua is not the quarterback. I'm sorry. He's not. He may win us a couple games, but he's not the solution. Unless he does a complete 360, he is not the solution. Okay. Cap, you can go ahead because it's just too many things I have to say. Go ahead, Cap.
No. At this point, he has to. It's time to either put up or shut up. I'm sorry, man. Like the sympathy card has been thrown out. Now it's time for you to earn your money. And I'm sorry if anybody feels like I'm being too harsh, but I don't think I'm the only one on this adventure right now of having to suffer after we just paid everybody. Nah. I want him to come back. I want him to earn his money. I want for everybody to see right now this year, once and for all, whether we have a quarterback or not. And if we don't, we have no choice but as a collective unit, as a fan base, to be together as one and finally realize we need another quarterback. So either he wins or he's out. That's it. And if he's not out, then shame on us and shame on everybody else who bought into this crap, because everybody wanted this. Not everybody, but 90% of the fan base wanted this. So it's either win or shut up. That's it.
See, some of us, we were we were kind of projecting out, based on what has already been presented to us by the team, by the players, so on and so forth. So it's not like when people are saying, hey, I'm a little concerned about A, B, and C, that, oh, you're just saying that 'cause no, it's because, well, guess what? I think that this might actually end up being, a level of concern that we're not considering. And right now, this is the not only God, I hated saying this last year, but it's not that we took an L, ladies and gentlemen, is that we took an L on top of another L on top of another L.
Exactly.
Because not only did we lose a couple players this game that people keep forgetting, he sucks, whatever. But guys, do you know why Braxton Berrios was here? So we wouldn't get our number one running back or wide receivers injured. So let's put a guy in that can take the hits and just keep it going. And
Yeah,
Braxton Berrios might actually end up being out for the rest of the season.
and I'm telling you right now, everybody thinks that McDaniel's going to be the fall guy. The more the special teams keeps doing these little things, they're going to have a reason to find Crossman as a scapegoat. I'm telling you right now.
Of course, because this unfortunately our front office is like the Hershey candy bar company. You just sugarcoating everything. Every time something goes wrong, sugarcoat. Okay, we're gonna bounce back. It's gonna be all right. Tua's gonna say today. This person's gonna say today. We bring in OBG. He's gonna say today. And also it's repetitive because Miss Phins, you just mentioned it. This is nothing new because we've seen the same thing last season and the season before. And really, if you ask me, this season is starting off worse than last season, and I don't see it getting too much better. I don't, because it's the same old, same old. And
Can y'all hear me?
Nene hit when she was talking just before I talked. She was hitting the nail on the head with everything,
I
everything.
agree. I agree. What's up, Dana? We can hear you. You sound a little bit like you're a little far away, but we can hear you. Go ahead.
Let me try this sound check. One more.
We
All right,
heard you,
how
but you
I
faded.
sound now?
We can hear you.
How
Go
I
ahead.
sound? So,
You're good.
like I said, one of the problems for me is not them falling short. It's the arrogance of that front office,
Yeah,
right? There's no accountability. It's let's mock the fans. And let's be honest, we have fans in our fan base that are more focused on their venom on the fans than the people that actually work and make decisions. And I think that's all strategic. When you see these guys like Omar Kelly, Big O, David Fuentes, Adam Beasley, and they make these condescending comments about the fans and how they're reacting to what you see.
Or the
It's not
players.
like
Many the players
right.
themselves.
Yes, and it's a big smoke cloud of gaslighting and distracting, and that's why whenever I come on these spaces and these platforms, I make it very clear. Why are you mad or trying to see 10 toes for a fan that is just watching the game just like you? They're not making any decisions. Even the people that love Tua, to a certain extent, I have to give them grace because at the end of the day, no matter how they feel about him, they're not the one that gave him the extension. They're not the one that didn't get backups and bridge quarterbacks such as Russell Wilson. I brought up Russell Wilson early in the summer. I said I thought he could have been a good bridge quarterback if this thing negotiations go bad or Tua gets hurt. You can bring him in for a couple of games. Whether you like his personality or not, that's a whole different
Did
conversation.
you see last night's game? The
We
thank
were
you.
told
man
no.
took
We
it.
were
Exactly.
told no for each quarterback. No this, no here, no him, and no him, and no him,
Right,
no him.
but I'm getting to a bigger point. Even some of our stronger fans that have strong voices and personalities, they are following the lead of the propaganda that's put out there. Because whenever you brought up Russell Wilson, all of a sudden Omar Kelly has a piece about Russell Wilson. When you brought up not Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, all of a sudden David Fuentes has a hit piece on why not and what didn't work. And
Fuentes.
I just want people to wake up and see the foolishness. If by now you're not giving Chris Greer, Stephen Ross, Brandon Shore, Van Giegel, if you still are not voicing your opinion that these people have not done their job and that this rebuild was not successful, then that tells me more about your character, especially if you're a content creator. Because ain't no way in hell, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's no way with this amount of
It's
evidence.
PG 13 today. It's PG 13, so you're fine. Today I warned
I,
everybody it's PG 13. Go ahead.
I remember when I came into this community, well, I've always been a Dolphin fan, but I'm talking about in speaking spaces and YouTube. And all I kept hearing was best roster in 20 years. No matter what concern I brought about the mindset and the mentality and the work ethic of this team, the one thing you kept getting shoved down your throat, Pauls, was that you need to be quiet, shut up and cook because you don't know anything. This is the best roster in 20 years. And I said, yeah, just because the trash got a little bit light out the trash can doesn't mean it's still not trash. We still need to see what this team does in big time moments, big time games. And I'm gonna give you an example. We watched all of the other sports teams in South Florida do a proper rebuild. We're watching it right now with the Miami Hurricanes. You've
Mm-hmm.
seen the Miami Heat do a proper rebuild. Even the Florida Panthers did a proper rebuild. Every single team, even my high school, Miami Central Senior High School, did a proper rebuild. The only group of people that continue to not tear down the foundation of it, get all of the trash, and really build it with hard work, people that want to be here. Now, you can have swagger, you can have an ego. Sports are like that. But when your ego becomes toxic, you should not be comfortable in a locker room where other people, like when I think about Calais Campbell, and I'm thinking about some of these other guys that I am seeing playing well, and Calais is 39 years old, I believe. And I'm watching Tyreek Hill that just hit his 30s. You're going to Paris, which is, you're right, you have a right to travel, you're not on no restrictions. You spend so much time on social media attacking the fan base and trolling that when the ball was finally thrown to you by a backup quarterback, you were so distracted you couldn't even see the ball. And you still have people that will blame the backup quarterback and say, well, he's not getting the ball to him. Well, when he threw it, he wasn't even really paying attention. Same thing with Waddle. And I like Waddle, but Waddle
Yeah.
is doing more limping to the sidelines than waddling for touchdowns. And a lot of that is just their mindset. You can tell, I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to land here. They don't want to play with nobody except for Tua. And
Exactly.
y'all, and the problem with that is that's where I'm now on Mike McDaniel. Come over here, Mike McDaniel. Like the Mortal Kombat, get over here. Ain't no way in God's creation your players have that much power that they make a decision, a business decision, that we're not going to give 100% because we have to buy in a different way. You can clearly see it on the field. They are not bought in. They don't want to block. They don't want to do anything until Tua gets back. And they think because of their names and what they're making, what they gonna do? Fire me? Ain't nobody else here. Well, sometimes that's exactly what you have to do in order to restore order in your organization. And I land there.
Let me, before anybody else goes real quick, I think you hit it out the park in so many different ways, Nene. But let me remind people of something that you reminded me of. So I appreciate you for this. Ladies and gentlemen, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine last week. I still remember when the Canes brought in Mario Escobar.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Cristobal, sorry. Sorry, I made him Pablo Escobar for a second there. Mario Cristobal, right? I still remember when we brought him in. And I remember that the first 2 years, man, everybody was pissed. Like, what the heck, man? We ain't winning. This ain't football, blah, blah, blah. And I had to, like, bring my friends out of the ledge. I'm like, yo, the man can't do that in 1 or 2 years. You got to deal with different recruiting classes and you got to build from the ground up and
Yeah.
show these kids, like, hey, this is the destination you want to go to and build it this way. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If I'm not mistaken, feel free to correct me. Isn't this year 4 or year 5? I'm pretty sure this
Year
is year
five.
4.
Year
Mhm.
Year 5?
5.
Okay, perfect. So he took an entire, because 4 years, that's when students, graduated after their 4th year. He took up that time to make sure he established 2 things to me that were the most important. And I think that the one I'm about to say is the most important out of all of them. His staff.
Yeah.
He made
Yeah.
sure he got the right guys in who bought into his idea of what this team was and how he put it out there for him to win. And everybody was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And then you kept seeing different former players coming through trying to be
Yeah.
like, let's go, let's do this. But guess what? The second thing that he did is he got out of his own way and allowed his team to help him by getting his scouts to help him with the recruitment, with
Who's this?
bringing in the student. Cristobal.
Oh,
I'm talking about
Cristobal.
how,
Yeah.
how his, because then it reminded me, and I'm like, this is so true because I
No,
had
you're
this
right. It's 4. I think it's 4. You're right. It's 4.
this exact conversation. This is how you do it, and you could see the fruit of their labors.
Mhm.
Right now, this year, to me, they're the hottest team, and people are gonna say, "Oh, they're not playing nobodies." Yes, they are. Okay,
Yes, they are.
and
Oh,
to
yes,
me,
they
Bro,
they're
are.
top 4.
and let me tell you something. That team they played in Louisville, from what I heard, he recruited the quarterback for Louisville too. And that team gave the team a hell of a fight, bro.
They did.
So
Not
They
not
did.
Cristobal knows his recruiting.
right.
So,
Not just
but
not
he didn't.
not.
He didn't think
Go
that
ahead.
he knew everything. He allowed for his team to help him, and to me,
There you
that was
go.
the key. And look
Yeah.
at what we're doing. 4 years, 5 years into this rebuild? That's not a freaking rebuild anymore. Paid $500 million for what? For them to do this on our face? Well, we're not like we were 35.
Look,
It,
even if we
let
were
me,
up, I still have no oomph because we were up, what, 3 games last year for division title and we still lost.
right. But Cap, to go on what you're saying, there was a during the game yesterday. There was a spot. There was a time where he showed the sidelines, and Weaver was talking to McDaniels, and Weaver had a look on his face like, "Man, what are you doing? What's wrong with
Oh
you?"
Lord,
He had that
don't tell
look
me
on
that.
his face. No, yes,
Don't tell me
Weaver had
that,
that look on
man.
his face. Yes, he did. He had that look on his face. I mean, he was communicating with McDaniels, but he had a look on his face like, "Man, what are you doing?" And when you look at Weaver dealing with the defense on the sideline, he's not smiling. He's not giggling. He's not joking around. He's
Can,
serious.
can I can I give a caveat? I said when Reaver was brought in, he was brought in as the replacement if this didn't work out. I said that I believe on this show and other shows because what I think is the narrative is protect your own six at all costs. And that's one thing Greer is a master of. He finds a way to always maneuver and protect himself, and someone else is always up front. Like, for instance, Vic Fangio. I think literally that was the position that was made for him, but he looked at it like Shaq Barrett did and said, listen, I can't deal with these guys, man. I remember when
Mhm.
the report came out with Vic Fangio on what he was dealing with those players, how they didn't want to work, how they wanted to party, all these different things. And Miami media, not all of them, because there's some good guys out there, but a lot of the Miami media is very connected to the Miami Dolphins. Why do you think people go from heroes to villains all in a couple of months? Because last time I checked, I was on Miss Fan show when McDaniel got his extension. Not one
Yep.
person. When I say not person, I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about even national media. The narrative was, oh, they're finally doing continuity. He is innovative. He's perfect in the organization. He's perfect with communication. Notice they always use that word communication. Remember, whenever we lost last year, every time we went to the podium, whether it was Tyreek Hill, after you got done with the word salad from Mike McDaniel, Tua, all you heard is, well, why we lost? Well, Now, and Ms. Phins, I charge any of the content creators to do a good show on the word communication. How many times it came up as the excuse as to why they're not doing what they're supposed to do? And I know people are saying about I kind of want to get to this because I think it's important with the Miami Dolphins. The difference with the University of Miami is that you go out there and commit penalties. You go out there and fumble. Guess where you going the next play? On the bench. You're
Thank
going
you.
on the bench. When my boy, number 4, Mark Fletcher, fumbled the ball, you know where he was the next couple of series? On that bench. When Justin Hill jumps off sides, when we have illegal procedures by the offensive line and so on and so forth, they're out there still every play. And then the coaches caveated Butchberry, Crossman. Well, we really don't believe in that. Well, that's why you don't believe in winning. Because if I'm a person, I'm a human being, and I know no matter what I do or don't do, I'm going to get my check. I'm going to get my minutes on the field. I can act sad, but I'm really not going to change my behavior because there's no accountability. I heard Zach Steele's interview last night, and I thought it was interesting. For everybody that says that everything is kumbaya, we like each other and we support each other. His interview kind of gave me a different sense of what I already knew.
Talk to
He
us
said,
about
look,
that.
he clearly said, we got to correct each other and not be like, okay, with I'll get it right the next play. No, we need to do it right now. We need to hold each other accountable. Tua kind of alluded to this after he got his money. You know, when after he got his money, he became a new man with talking. But I remember Tua kept saying that this year we're gonna hold each other accountable, right? And for me, I thought Zach Sealer was speaking from probably Calais Campbell and some of the other guys on the defense that's going out there and they're doing everything they're supposed to do. And then the offense and special teams and other people are not doing their part. But this is where Mike McDaniel, I empathize with you, but brother, you got a job to do. And I don't know if you don't have no savings or you just so infatuated with keeping your job and still being the main guy that people are going to attack. Because anybody with common sense would know 24 years, how many different coaches, how many different coordinators, how many different players. It didn't matter the personality. Your result is still the same. So it can't be just this person. It cannot be. I think with what they have with the Dolphins is because, and I said this, when they started selling their 305 logo, that 305 logo, which it used to be all of South Florida was 305. It
Yeah.
means something to the people. It means something to the community. So no matter what they do or don't do, you're gonna have fans that's still gonna buy the tickets. You got fans that's still gonna buy the merch. The most we're gonna do is vent on these platforms and our personal pages. But on Sunday, we're still gonna tune in 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whenever we play. And I just think what they do is they gaslight us. So now the narrative is that Tua coming back that was the missing piece. But when you think about it, after the Tennessee game in December of last year, we're almost a year into this. To me, that was the one game where we really went back to ground zero, right? Is when we lost in our own house against a 5-win team. The whole NFL figured us out. They said it on the broadcast. All of that trickery and that motions and stuff, they figured
What
out
game
Mike
again?
McDaniel. The Tennessee Titans game. To
Oh,
me,
I'm looking at it right now. That game wasn't just ridiculous, man.
but like I say, because I'm flying this plane long, it's just the rebuild. I have a lot of empathy, but there's accountability to Mike Daniel. But I knew this was going to happen. I knew if this fell apart, they were not going to go into the weeds of the problem, that you did not address the needs of this team. You covered it up like you always do with a big name that can get people distracted. Don't think for 1 second that Shaq Barrett did not quit on football for a reason. Don't think that these players that we let go in free agency, I know Christian Wilkins are hurt, but the majority of them are going to other teams, and you're still seeing them successful. Now, the problem is the big names that we're getting They're not really bringing that performance to this particular organization. They're not bringing that leadership because I can guarantee Tyreek Hill would not be getting away with what he's doing in Miami and Kansas City. It wouldn't happen. It would not happen.
Because he's not the
Not,
guy.
right.
He's not
He
he's
would
a
be all
guy.
over
He's
it.
not the guy.
He couldn't do that with Dan Campbell in the Detroit Lions, who was a former
No.
interim Dolphin.
Yeah, he
couldn't do
wouldn't
that
have been
with
able
Dan
to do it
Or
with any
Vikings.
Exactly.
Flores, or anybody. It just would not happen. Yeah, no.
And I just want to piggyback on what Nate was saying, accountability, because when I saw McDaniels you go goofing off with Tyreek and Waddle, where was Greer? Because if you're gonna have accountability, okay, the next person dealing with McDaniels should be Chris Greer. If not Chris Greer, then the Ross, you should have got involved in this.
I was just going to say that.
Because
Ross
it's no accountability at all, and that's why
You
the
guys,
team is where it is. No
you
accountability.
guys saw Garfinkel and Greer having a nice like back and forth before the game. It got a little bit like animated on the sidelines before the game. You guys didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that. What happened?
I heard
Hold
about
on, Cap. That's all Cap. That's all the show. This is what I'm telling you. They play with y'all emotions because who broke that report?
They ain't playing with me. Hey, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real quick. It just seems like you're just coming when everybody else is just going. We've been seeing this for 2 years before you even popped on the scene. So it's nice to know that the fan base is finally starting to see what we've been seeing so far.
No, Cap. No, I know why you're not getting what she's saying. That's
No, I
not
get what
what
she's saying. I get what she's saying,
No,
but she
you're
needs to
not.
realize too, what she's seeing is not nothing new.
No, but Cap,
No. That's not it. Hold on, Cap. 1 second, guys. 1 second, real quick. I believe from what Nene was saying is that it's all for show.
show.
I know that, but I'm gonna publicize it. Like people say we can't do nothing, I'm gonna do something, and that's one of the things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call out the bullshit.
Look,
I mean, BS. Sorry.
Yeah, BS, because it's still.
Cap, listen to me. You didn't let me finish the quote. What I am saying to you is, sir, I'm not denying what you're saying, but just because people wasn't on spaces and platforms doesn't mean we wasn't aware of what was going on. That's number one. Number two,
but a lot of people got annihilated for it.
Hold on, number two.
Hold on, Kat. Let her finish real quick because then I want to hear Mr. Poe because I know he was waiting to say it.
Oh no.
And then number two, Omar Kelly is the one that put that video out for everybody to see and put that caption that there looks like an animated word for word what you just said, Cap. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these media guys, the big O's, the Omar Kellys, and so on and so forth, when they put it out, it's for a reason. Ask yourself.
And that's why I say to you, you just coming when we're already going. I've been seeing that for years. That's why I've been trying to publicize it to y'all for years before you even got here. And now people are starting to see that the beat writers are the main problem.
Okay, so you're saying what you're saying.
You see where I'm going?
You agree with her. You agree with her.
I made a full circle.
I
made a full circle.
You agree with her, and you're just emphasizing, like she said.
Yeah, what she's saying has already been done for years, man. We know that. We know about Omar. We know about Big O. We know about all these guys. They play the sides when it's favored to them. When they get the money, they get favored and they side with the agents. We know this. We know this for years. I just want to publicize it more. So it can be known.
If you've been listening to TD, you already know all this.
But what I'm saying to you, Cap, is when you come the way you just came at me, we're like, hey, listen, we know, you're just coming around. That's what I have to push back on.
I'm not coming at you. I'm bringing more awareness to what you're saying.
Right. So I'm just bringing awareness to you. Just because
I was just animated. That's all, Nene. Don't. It wasn't directed like animosity towards you.
It's like
he's just very animated. That's all he is.
Yeah, it's just capping, like you say.
He's just very animated. That's all.
I think that whole thing that we saw on the sidelines was a show. Because a lot of times you don't even Greer be hiding. He be hiding behind people. There's an infamous still shot of him when we would get beat by the Titans, and even when he wears hats, which annoys me, but now I know why he wears those hats. It doesn't even have the Miami Dolphin logo on it. It has his own business on it. It tells you everything you need to know about this guy, and they hear the motion in the community, right? Some of these lifelong die people who are
Who am I?
experts in the community that been saying when we bring up these concerns about the mindset of the team, the construction of the team, that you don't know ball and you whatever. Not feeding into it. But what I'm saying to you is that when I saw Omar posted that, and when I even looked at that video, it didn't really even look like it was nothing. That could have been easy, just a conversation about whatever, maybe golf tomorrow morning. It didn't look like it was heated or animated. But because the whispers are out there, Omar is going to play to the pundits and everybody that's talking about Greer because his name is coming up. It's about time. His name is finally coming up. And Stephen Ross' name has been in and out for many years, but Greer has always found a way to mark himself safe. You know, like when you go on social media and it's an event, you can mark yourself safe. Greer is a master of that. And people get sucked in into the auxiliary of what he does. Oh, well, he builds us a roster. Well, that's what he's supposed to do. Why am I going to give you a tap on a attaboy for doing your job? Now, here's the question. When you build a roster, do you have a contingency plan, especially when your roster is conformed with people that have injury concerns? You bring in a lot of guys that are on their last legs or on the IR. We have more people on the IR than their active roster at sometimes. So that's my whole thing, Cap. I understand your passion, but what I am saying to you is that little clip, I am not buying that there was any animosity between those individuals. And then they say that Ross was in the locker room with them and they talked with McDaniel. For all we know, they were playing in their golf plans this morning. Those people, to me, do not care until we actually see some significant change. You cannot bring in people off of people's practice squads. Don't cater the offense to them. Tyler Huntley in particular. Tyler Huntley, to me, isn't bad, but I knew when he got here, the fan base was going to expect Tua. And I'm like, you can't expect him to be another man. Like, no, you have to adjust to what he does well. But when you do it the last minute and you only got even the 7 to 10 games, when you have a time in office, it takes time. I think they said one posting, I think it was Hill that said it takes about a good 2 years to really learn the nuances of Mike McDaniel's offense. So you done spared that timeline from 2 years to 10 days and calling the man trash. He's a backup quarterback. So I'll land there because there's other people that need to talk.
No,
No, I think that was
thing
great. Go
is,
ahead, Mr. Polk.
even though he was up, he's looked at as a backup quarterback. If you go and look at the film on Huntley last season when Jackson went down, he stepped in and he played well. When we went and got him, I was hoping, I mean seriously hoping that McDaniels would take a look at the Ravens schemes and plays and come up with something designed for Tyler Huntley, but he didn't. Because what he did, he stuck on this tool with the tool scheme to the point where the receivers and the offensive linemen are stuck in it as well. I think Tyler Huntley is a talented quarterback, but it just cannot fit into what we run, the scheme that we run in here for two. Same thing with Skylar Thompson. Well, I'm not gonna say Skylar Thompson is a talent, but they almost have a similar talent because they can both run and throw the ball to a certain extent. But like I said, this is on McDaniels and Greer too, because Greer should be holding McDaniels accountable. You know,
Yeah, but look, it
Look,
was
I
10.
think
It was 10
Skyler
nothing.
and Huntley's the same. They're the same.
It was 10 nothing going into the half, right?
10-3.
10-3. Okay, so we had a good lead. Those fumbles, I mean, it wasn't on Huntley. Those penalties, those pre-snap penalties, wasn't on Huntley. So I just feel for that man too, trying to do with what he has, what he was given, and he was still in a position to win that game. I mean, as much as people want to complain about McDaniel, this is what the fans wanted. And this is what pisses me off more and more. It's like everybody wants to complain about McDaniel, but you guys wanted McDaniel.
Oh no! Hey,
Not you per se.
Not Miss Fans fans. Miss Fans fans know better. Trust
some
me.
of y'all.
You get what I'm saying though. You get what I'm saying though.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get mixed up in that at all.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. It's like to complain about something after you just paid the man. I mean, I get it. You know, Ross can still buy him out. I get that. But man, it's just like you're gonna use the fullback twice on third and one, fourth and one.
Well,
Come on,
you know,
bro.
That's a
the first
McDaniel thing.
the first red flag was when Greer said, "Can you help Tua get better?" When it should have been, "Could you make this team better?"
Mhm.
Not Tua, but the team.
You
And
know,
I
it's
agree. And I think please highlight CB83's comment. And you know, one thing
in
I say
here.
about
What's up,
highlight that.
CB? Welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with people like CB83. He does good work on his show. My problem when we have these kind of comments and we say it's Mike McDaniel, right? We have seen a lot of consistency with Mike McDaniel still struggling to do things that in year 3 he should have overcome. Timeouts. It looks like he is once again where he's sprinting to the ref to call a timeout. A lot of some of the he's gotten a little bit better of it, but the aggressive fourth down plays or sometimes the lack of aggression in fourth down, right? The reason why a lot of people CB83, because since you said this, are addressing Greer, because Mike McDaniel is not his own boss. From what I understand, unless you can correct me, Greer is the next in line when it comes to Mike
Thank you.
McDaniel. So,
Next man in command. Sorry about that. Go
so,
ahead.
so here two things. This is why it's still on Greer, and I'm a firm believer in a lot of people. And I'm not saying CB83, but when a lot of people have not been in charge of people, they don't understand this concept. You cannot be the boss of somebody. Give them an extension, give them a pay raise, and blame them for things that you already saw before you gave them the pay raise, before you gave them an extension. So now at this point, it's on you because you brought this person back, gave them more money, gave them more
Yup.
job security,
Yup.
knowing what you already knew. And that's some of the things where people has problem with Greer. A lot of these guys we extended, we didn't even have to do it. You could have waited this season and see if they could have did it again, right? But you jumped the horse. You went to Big Boss Ross and got him to open his wallet. So anything that happens now, you aren't a part of anything good, bad, and indifferent as a boss, a real boss. You just can't be the boss when things are going good and taking the glory and smiling. Then when things go bad, now you want to blame the people that work for you. That's not how it works. When you are in charge, they have this thing. When in charge, be in charge. So one or two things are happening. Let's say Greer is having these conversations with Mike McDaniel. I could just see him with his hat on and his hands in his pocket. Hey, Mike, buddy, I just want to talk to you a little bit of things. I know we're going to go on the tee around 3 o'clock. I know we're going to golf, but I just got to talk to you about some of your calls. Are you okay? Is the wife good? Okay, okay. Yeah. I think you may want to change this. And Mike be like, okay. I may want to change it. See, when you don't give people direct orders, you still leave them into the interpretation of what they still want to do. If it's not direct and it's indirect, and you leave a window to where they still can make their own decision, and let's say he's being direct and saying, Mike, you will do this. Well, check this out. If Mike went ahead and just disregarded that direct order, you still got to do something to Mike because you're in charge. So I'm not buying none of this tomfoolery where you're going to sit here and lay all of the weight, keyword, all of the weight on Mike McDaniel. When you got a boss, Ross, McKenzie, because some people get real uncomfortable when we say Greer. I don't know who Greer got on payroll, but people get real mad when we mention Christopher Aloysius Greer III. Like, there's people more mad when you say his name than when we actually lose. It's weird to me. I think I'm going to do a case study on it. Why are people so sensitive about Chris Greer? Because
I almost said something in it, but then I'm like, nah, this is PG. This is rated R.
But if you mention his name, people stand up and come. I heard there's a lot of GMs. Well, there's a lot of lawyers for Chris Greer because as soon as you bring up his missus You get, do you want this man to be perfect? Wait a minute. I said he missed. I never said I wanted him to be perfect. I said he swung and he's missed. But what else you want him to do? He got the talent. Yeah, but the talent came in here with a wheelchair. The talent came in here with neck braces and ace bandages. The talent was never healthy.
Where's Chop?
But I'm a,
Where's
Didn't he come from
one person that
Patriots? Didn't he come from New England, or was it the Jets?
No, it's from New England.
New
Yeah,
England, yeah.
and they got rid of him for a reason, right?
Well, he was there for a while, and when he left, that's when they started the dynasty.
Yeah,
hey, say that again, Cap.
Say
And
that
that's
again.
and that's what.
Yeah.
As soon as
I
he
said that
left,
I said that last week. I said that last week. You were 1000% right. Say it again, Cap.
Yeah, he was there for almost, I think, almost a decade, and after that, he left, and yeah, after that, they won the couple Super
Yeah.
Bowls.
His brother went to San
And his
Jose
brother.
Sharks. His brother went to San Jose Sharks. They haven't done jack. He went there. Where is his dad, by the way? He's a consultant, by the way, for the Miami Dolphins. I know people don't
Somebody
know that.
brought up something yesterday that I thought was kind of interesting. Was does Tyreek want to be traded? Is he doing this on purpose to get traded?
no,
Let me tell you something. Look, I'm
doing
gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. And this is what I've come to learn, knowing what I've seen and what I hear from agents. Usually, when you do a payout like this and pay everybody, you either have a reason to keep them or a reason to get bailed out if you start to tank, really start to tank. You can sell your assets to get something back because we have no capital. So that's the only two options you got. Either you're keeping them or you're keeping them to get back assets, one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they were already signed. That's what we're trying
That's
to
what I
say.
mean.
Like,
But they're
we
signed
didn't
they're signed to
need.
good deals. They're signed to good deals. That's what I'm saying. Those deals can be flipped easily the way Greer does it.
But no, and here's the thing. But you put a strain on your fan base. Again, whenever you're in business, right? If you're a business owner, you don't want to put a strain on your consumers. You want them to be able to buy a product that they can consume and digest well. You pause. You don't want your consumers to have to be like they just think about how many times we go off on these panels because of this team. And when I hear Greer up there sarcastically say, well, y'all more worried about the offensive line than we are, I take that attitude. We're more worried about the Dolphins than he is. And
Yeah.
then you see the players, right? So that's to CB's point where he says he doesn't see Greer as quote unquote Mike McDaniel's boss. There's a thing called culture, and I know the word is being overused a lot. But when they say stuff rolls downhill or it comes from the top, that is a true statement. You can normally look at the top of an organization and you can see whatever that mentality is roll
Yeah.
all the way to the players. When you
Yeah.
have your general manager and your head coach on press conferences and they don't look serious about nothing, everything's a joke, everything is condescending, and then you see how they're so reckless with their discipline with the pre-snap penalties and how they shoot themselves in the foot. And then after the play, you look at the bench and you see their reaction to their lack of execution. It is a good a synopsis that this team has a no care, willy nilly attitude. And that's why anybody that comes in the building that comes in with the stricter, old school approach of discipline, and everybody, no matter who you are, is going to follow the rules. We don't give these heavy biasness to big names and big players and big egos. It's about the team and not you. When you have that mentality, you see the difference in the results in whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's in life. And what happens is, no disrespect to the newer generation, they want everything and want to talk about everything, but what they actually do when it goes wrong. Let me say that for the people in the back. They want to have the swagger, they want to talk, they want to do all this stuff. When it goes wrong, you can't say nothing because that's toxic. That's hurting my feelings. You're being mentally abusive to me, right? But when you were talking all of this trash about how great you are and what you're going to do, and now you done came up short, now you don't want nobody to bring it up. You want everybody to be quiet and act like they didn't see what we see, the thing about football is just like the movies, and I use this synopsis a couple of times recently. It's like when you go to a movie and the movie previews look real good. You're real hyped up to see it. Then you get in the movie and the movie is not good. You can't get mad when the people boo. You can't get mad when the people give you now you have all of these ratings where you can give somebody 1 star. You can say how you're displeased. And that's how a lot of people in this fan base are. They ran around here doing victory laps every time we got a name that you recognize and demonized you when you brought up some legitimate concerns on how it was going to work together. And now you can't say nothing about it. You're taking victory laps. You were hoping for us to fail anyway. No, I think all of us genuinely wants this team to do well. But there was writing on the wall before Tua went down. It was writing on the wall even when Flores were here with the discipline, right? And they showed a stat last night.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins is the most penalized team in the league. But it don't look like that way on the sidelines.
That's crazy.
Let me emphasize how much more. It's not even by like a little bit, guys. The number of pre-snap penalties right now that the Dolphins have equates to, I think, 10 of the teams in the NFL. Right now, we are the most penalized team, and it's pre-snap. This is the stuff that's foundational. This is the stuff like line up all 7 of you that are supposed to be on the line and nobody flinch. I don't know how many more illegal shifts or offsides or how many false starts we got to keep getting before this is drilled into their mother flipping brains not to do. And this is the part where I feel like, and thank you, Nanny, for reminding me, because I have to say it. I got to get it off my chest today. We're PG, but it takes no flipping talent, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to harp on this as much as possible because I'm so tired of people telling me how, but we, look at this offense. Look at how good. No. What did this offense do again and again and again? I told you guys this, and I said this after the Bills, and I said this last year too. In my personal opinion, I said it in the offseason too, I don't think Tua elevates this team, period. Can he make this offense move? Can he make this offense put them in positions to score? Yes. I don't think he elevates this team. But you know what? Where I failed, and I have to admit it, my bad. This coaching does not elevate this team. Because when you have your head coach, who I've said it for the last 2 years, make adjustments in game, especially this season, it's it's night and day. How you can see Anthony Weaver making adjustments when teams score in the first half and don't score in the second half. That's called adjustments. But what does our offense do? Nothing in the first half, and then no adjustments for the second half. That's on coaching too. It's definitely on player execution. But at this point, it's frustrating because we got a GM that get us these, to Nene's point, which I know we talked about it ad nauseum this offseason. If you know your GM, because I know my GM, don't worry, it's gonna come. That splashy sign that we get every flipping offseason to make us feel good, like, oh my God, look, we got this guy, Super Bowl, baby, let's go. This is the fake news that they keep giving us every single time, just dangling a stupid carrot right in front of us just to tell us, yeah. Don't worry about what's going on. The house is on fire, but we're fine. Look what we just got you. Look at what we got. Like, I'm just so over this team right now. And it's ridiculous because it's extreme lack of player execution. But where do they get that from? From their leadership, from their coaching, from the supposed captains. When your captains are trash and your captains are showing you this right here on a game you're losing, I don't give a damn if you're up. You're not winning by 45. And then we wonder, like, well, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this is, I don't know. Well, guess what? Guess who told you about this? We've been talking about it as a community. Some of us, I just say it nicely. You know what I mean? I don't go as ham. Look, listen, TD, y'all may not like him, but he's raw. He's going to give it to you raw. Miss Phins, I give it to you with a little bow because I don't want to be so, like, intense.
A little spice.
But I still say the same thing because guess what? If you have eyeballs and a brain, you can think clearly and you can think critically. This is what separates us from every other animal in the animal kingdom. The fact that we can think critically. Feel free to ask a scientist because that's exactly the definition why. So at this point, I am so tired of hearing the fan base making excuses time after time when we're getting garbage from this team. We wake up. We're getting garbage, and all we do is say, yes, sir, may I have another? May I have another? I want another. Oh, my God, we saw, but it's okay. I want another. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, it's okay. We got 30. Let me have another. Oh, my God. Like, really, what the heck, man?
It's true. I mean, they come down on two. I mean, they came down on TD, and really, in reality, not only TD and Pete.
Yeah, because Pete
does have some crazy takes.
He made right,
yeah,
but
he was right a lot. He just sensationalized it, to like bring, some fire to it. That's why I will always be here for everybody to have. This is why I do my shows, guys, because I want everybody to have the opportunity to voice their opinion. I may not agree with you. We can go back and forth, but we go back and forth respectfully. Some people, unfortunately, don't know how to have those conversations that may be a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? And then they get nasty. And then that's when you have where it turns a really good show into a crappy show.
And they don't want to, and a lot of people don't want to admit that they're wrong. And they want to,
Exactly.
Well, I mean, look, out of everybody you just mentioned, I mean, everything that we know about everybody is that we're all Dolphin fans. That's why we're here. I mean, that's what we care about.
Right, but you have to be able to admit you were wrong. Just like you just because
I can tell you I'm wrong right now. Hold up, Cap. I was 100% wrong, Mr. Polk, about Deshaun Watson. I can tell you right now. I was 100% wrong about Deshaun Watson.
But really, Watson's better than Tua.
Wait, Lance, let Mr. Polk go, and then I'm gonna let you go, and then I want Cap again. Go ahead, Mr. Polk first, then Lance, and then Cap.
Me and Nene had a conversation on another platform, and Nene brought up a good point. And after we had that, me and her had our discussion. I went back and I thought about it, and I went back and did a little research. I said, you know what? Nene was 100% right. I was wrong. And I'm saying, and I started mentioning it on other platforms. I said, me and Nene had a serious discussion, but she was right. She was right. And sometimes you have to admit that you make a mistake with seeing certain things a certain way.
Yeah, man.
Be strong enough to say, okay, I was wrong, because like I said, that's how we move forward. But you can't get stuck. And also, I'm gonna say something else too. Some of the fan base and some of the people on these platforms, you have to be neutral when it comes down to your team. You have to be able to criticize them when they're wrong, and compliment them when they're right.
Yep.
But if you're gonna be to the extreme on either side, you're not gonna what's the word? You're not gonna give our team the thing it needs to move forward, because you're too extreme. You can't be like that. You got to be neutral. You have to be neutral to look at your team, look at the front office and what happened. And then talking about the front office, there's no accountability, because I said that on another platform. That's the biggest thing I see with the Miami Dolphins, no accountability. And that's why we are where we are, because it started. It's no accountability for Ross. especially Greer and McDaniels. Now, some people want to say, okay, well, it's not McDaniels. Yes, it is. It's McDaniels, Ross, and Greer. Those three. No accountability. And that's why the team is playing. And Calais Campbell, when I first got wind that he was coming to our team, I said, okay, here comes some leadership on the defense. When he gets here, he melts right into what's going with to the what's going the soft.
He's been
I'm
great, man. He's been great.
the softness. OBJ. Okay, I know he's been. I know we brought him in hurt and what have you. Okay, I said okay, that's going to be the leadership on the offense. Don't see it because anybody that comes into this franchise goes into that's I'm gonna use like I said the word soft. It goes into being soft, and that's why we in the position that we in right now. No accountability, no hardness.
Can I say something? Thank you, Mr. Pope, because we had a very passionate conversation by guess who? Christopher Aloysius Greer III. And I will be very honest with you. I think what he mentioned is why sometimes we can't have a conversation and then it just turns into distorted noises in terms of how we feel. I think everybody has pride, self-individual pride. And like I said on another platform, I said, all of us is just basically going off of what we see. So sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. But there's some people you could just tell in their personality, even outside of football, they would never admit that they're wrong. You can catch them in the act doing something wrong and be like, nope, not me. What do you see? No, that was somebody else. And you just got to know with those individuals, that's just who they are. And you just take them with a grain of salt. And I'm learning that too, because again, I'm in a field where you debate. So sometimes I have to even check myself. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this individual. They see what they see and that's it. And some people you would think, okay, you've seen enough evidence of what's going on. You would think they would come around and be honest about what's going on. And some people are just stubborn. Some people, and that's why these beat writers, they live off of them. They live off these people that they are true blue Dolphins fans, no matter what. We are going to the Super Bowl. These are the people, even when the season is over with, well, we still got a game to play. No, the season is over with, sweetie. It's done. And I get being optimistic and a positive fan, but all these labels still don't make decisions. I'm a kind of person where it's good to have dialogue, but let's talk about the root of the problem. And none of it is the fans. We really got people around here blaming the fans, blaming, complaining. Again, fans, that's their job to complain. So technically, the fans are the only ones really doing their job. Our job is to see and complain and cheer. That's just what it is. Now, if you're the type of person that you don't like a fan complaining or expressing themselves, then maybe sports may not be for you because fans are going to boo. That's why when you go into stadiums, they boo and they cheer. Are you going to be the fan that grabs the mic and say, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all complaining? Why are you booing? No, the fans are doing their job. They're reacting to how they feel of what they see. And again, the Pete's in the world, you got to understand he's going to be Pete, but then you got other people in the community. I can at least say when Skylar did hit the curve, Pete did open up his platform. But I know there's people that was Tua to the blue, and you haven't seen them since week 2. They're not even active in the community. So again, I try not to get caught up in that because the people at the end of the day, we're in America, or the sport is in America. Some people may not be in America. Let's be honest. Not all our fans are America. We have Dolphins fans that's in London. We have Dolphins fans that's in Australia. So, but the freedom of speech and how you feel is out there. But yeah, this organization to me is a bigger problem than Mike McDaniel, because let's say you get him out of here. Somebody brought it up. I think it was AB. And me and AB have a lot of differences of opinion, but I do agree with him. You take Mike McDaniel, who you bring out. You put Anthony Weaver in there. So let's say Anthony Weaver doesn't get the job. Do you fire him too? Like at some point, 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches since what, 2016? Like that tells you everything you need to know. A lot of the teams that do well have stability. They have stability in the front office and they have stability with not
Yeah.
just people in the building, but they have a culture. They have a work ethic. Every team says at the beginning of the year they want to go to the Super Bowl. But what separates it from saying it is how you actually work together. And having an extreme environment where everybody is buddy, and friends, that is just as toxic if somebody is just constantly yelling and screaming and demeaning. You got to find something right in that safe middle. But when your leaders, to me, when I look at these guys with the C's on their chest, this is where Lewis isn't here. He's running this station. I'll probably go there after here, but he says a lot about the players, and this is where I do agree with him. If you got your money, you check your Navy Federal, and all that money is there, the rent is due, brother. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. If the Dolphins did their part and they paid you, it's just like any job. If you got your pay, you got to go out there and do your job. I don't care if Tua's out there. This mindset that Tua is not out there, at least that's what it looks like, because I know some people are going to push back on this narrative. I think they've openly supported the backups, but when you look on the field, it does not look like they are engaged with these backups like they are if Tua was out there. And that's why Tua being on the field, I had a problem with that. I said, Tua, no disrespect, stay at home with your family. Like, get your rest. Because that also can serve as a distraction, whether you believe it or not. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a quarterback and I'm trying to lead this team, but then here's the actual quarterback one standing here. Like, that is a visual that could distract people. You know what I'm saying? And especially for like somebody like Tyler Huntley and Tim Boyle, they weren't here last year, so he don't have that camaraderie with the guys. So that's why that. But then again, who made that decision? Tua. No disrespect. I know this is what you want to do, but it may be best for you to kind of just chill at home for a little while. Spend time with your baby. Spend time with your wife. You know, we got it here. Rehab and do what you got to do. But you know what it is? They want that optic that he's just fine. So having him stand on that sideline is like, oh, he's gonna be back, and that gives the starving Dolphin fan that wants to see the sky blue and orange. Oh, Tua gonna come back and everything's gonna be perfect. We're going back to the
Exactly.
and that's where I call out gaslighting. Most of y'all know
Yep,
I work.
exactly.
I know how it works when we're putting out propaganda. Trust me. And to me, and it's not saying that Tua can't physically be on the sidelines because I'm not looking at the comments, but I'm sure I'm going to get some pushback. But when you've been around organizations where you know we putting out hidden agendas and messages, like to me, especially what Tua's condition with the concussions, be home with your family, spend time with your daddy, go over the plays at home. Let these backups have the team. We got your back. But if you're there, you're there. I'm sure
Yeah,
Tyreek
because
and
they
all that.
feel like they can't they can't perform because it's like, oh damn, if I do too well, then Tua's gonna be mad at me. Guys, hit that like button. Nene is cooking right now. I need y'all to hit that like button, guys. We got almost 70 people in here. I need everybody to hit the like button. I know not everybody has, so hit that like button, guys, on your way in. Um, Continuing in it, because I mean, I can't even argue with everything you say.
To
You're
me,
cooking.
Oh, you
to
cooking
me,
that day?
that was the optics. And again, I want to be clear for people because I can't see all the comments, but I'm not saying Tua can't be there. Obviously, he can physically be there, and he's not breaking any rules. Because somebody will bring that up. Well, he's not breaking. No, but it's just a lot of the sports have a lot to do with emotion and direction, and with him still being on that field, he is still present. So they really still don't have any control. And for those quarterbacks, they need for that game, they need to be the QB1. They need to have the trust or whatever. And I just think like Tyler Huntley never stood a chance. I saw him when he took a sack one play, right? And the announcer brought it up that the timing, that he's not getting that back foot down and throwing it like Tua was. But then the next
Mm-hmm.
time the Dolphins got the ball, instead of throwing the ball, he ran. And it was a positive play of, I think, 11 yards. And the announcer says, just give him a chance. Let him do what he does well. He
Exactly.
adjusted that he couldn't throw that time into Tyreek because he doesn't have that time with Tyreek Hill and Waddle and so forth. But what he can do is that he's more athletic. He can see, hey, they're not there. Take off and get some positive yards and slide. And that's the whole thing that I'm saying about mindsets and knowing what you got. I bring up the Miami Heat a lot because to me, if there's any team that's a model, that next man up mentality, and my second string and my third string works as hard as possible because at any given moment these people can go down. Like when we got Jimmy Butler, one of my concerns was his health, bad knees, and he's getting older. But Eric Spoelstra, and here's the thing we're not talking about: the supporting training staff and coordinators. What are they doing in their prep for these guys that just got to come in? Now you're the guy. Because one thing that I hear from the Miami Heat is that the backups, they have another part of the facility where they just work hard. What Udonis Haslam and some of these other former Heat players, to when Jimmy goes down, Kyle Lowry goes down, Bam goes down. At that time, they were still able to be the number one seed with a Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, because their development players was getting those reps. Like their organization was believing in them, since we always want to bring up believing in them that, hey, these guys may go down. And ain't no excuses when you got to go out there. We ain't going to say you a backup. You still got to go out there because guess what? Your direct deposit didn't say backup. It said paid. So it makes me wonder what I know we go after Greer, we go after the collective, and I think they have a responsibility too, right? We go after the names that we know, but what about these coordinators and these all these other people that are working to game prep? Because there are times when you look at this team and they look lost, unprepared. And I know we mentioned the head coach, but there are other people that are delegated to work specifically with these groups to make sure the timing is on. Now, yeah, the head coach is the mastermind or whatever, but there are other people that execute. Like for the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra is the head coach, but Chris Quinn, Karan Butler are the ones that really work with the rookies and the G League guys. And that's why I hate to say it, the Miami Heat have been able to persevere with injuries and still get to their championship game 2 times out of the last 6 years, where the Dolphins haven't even won a playoff game. Like, I know it's a different sport, but it's the concepts are still the same. You have to practice how you play, and you have to get everybody prepared. You can't just get one guy that you tailor made. And I think it's so. This is where I get back to Greer, and I hold him accountable. You have more access to Tua's health records probably than anybody that's speaking today. In fact, I know you do. You trying to tell me with all of the information that you have, that you still put all your chips right there? Ignorance, arrogance, and malpractice. And that's why I come for his neck, and I land there.
Well said, Nene. Well said.
Yeah, I will say this too. Watching over their shoulders, exactly what's happening, and that's the sad part. And I think that's what it's not hurting, but a lot of it. And I said this before, Mike McDaniel, bro. Like, you had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. 2 weeks to get ready for the game, and it's not like it was a hidden. Like, we knew Tua wasn't gonna play. Hello. You had 2 weeks to play. Last time you had 10 days to get Skyler ready, and you didn't do your job and get him ready. Now you had 14 days to get Tyler Huntley ready, and he still didn't do it. That's on McDaniel. I don't want to hear about players. The coaches also have to do their jobs too. And unfortunately, right now, this coach is not getting his team prepared. Or maybe it is that perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, Mike McDaniel is telling you something without telling you something. And that is to hit the like button, guys, right now. Okay, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Miss Phins, I need it's like 70 plus of you guys in here. Hit that like button. But besides that, he's telling you right now, I can't win without Tua.
Yeah.
Because if I win without Tua, then there's no need for me to be here. That's what that means. That's what he's telling you without telling you. If I win without Tua, I don't need to be here. Because he hitched his wagon, ladies and gentlemen, to Tua.
Mm-hmm.
He hitched his wagon to Tua. He told he told Ross, he told what's his name? Greer. Oh yeah. I got 3,000 plays. I can show you right now why Tua's gonna be there. Like, what are we talking about? Like right now, this entire organization is a joke, and I highlighted this. I saved it for now because I gotta ask y'all this question, and this is coming from a Bills fan, and it's a valid question to me. Which team is worse, Dolphins or Jets? Because at this point, I don't know. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you whether the Jets or the Dolphins are worse right now. Everybody needs to be fired in this organization. They already fired their head coach. Got the interim coach in. Got their shiny new piece in Adams. Still didn't do nothing versus the Steelers. And got destroyed by Russell Wilson. And to add the cherry on top, I know everybody heard the boos at halftime when all the fans were booing Russell Wilson when they get on the third 3 and out. And they were not having it. And what did Russell do? He picked it up, did his job, and started cooking.
Yeah.
That's a real organization. I wish with all my heart that we were like the Steelers. A real organization. Not no bull crap about bringing in tennis, bringing in Formula One and NASCAR and whatever this month wants to bring over here. But actually focus on what is there, which is that dang stadium. Don't talk to me about nothing else. I don't care. I don't care. I'm a football fan. BUMS fans, if you guys don't show up, other people are going to buy the tickets. You know what? Then maybe as a fan base, we got to do what dumb money did to the stock exchange. What do you mean, Miss Fans? Oh, very fun. Very interesting. You should actually watch the movie Dumb Money. It'll just show you a lot. But not to get into all of it, but essentially is screw the big guy. How do you screw the big guy? The Dolphin version, where everybody season tickets comes up, everybody cancels. Anybody on the waiting list, they cancel. And nobody buys season tickets. At all. That's how you make a statement. That's how you tell the team, you want to you want to go ahead and do that? Okay. You want to continue to have garbage? You're going to have fans. Fans will always be there. I'm a true fan. I'm a real fan. I'm going to be there no matter what. Me too, bro. I'm still going to be there. But you know what? Instead of watching the game and giving you guys watching views, go ahead and just watch the highlights on YouTube from some random person that gives it to me. Not even the NFL. And keep it moving. Because you want to treat this team, you want to treat this fan base like garbage, I'm going to treat the team the same. You're giving me garbage. Why do I still got to shell out 10 grand for 4 season tickets and whatnot? And jersey sales and this and that? Boycott the damn team. And don't worry, because there will still be people there. There will still be people there. People will still buy. But you want to get all 66,000 seats filled? You're about to look like the freaking Miami Marlins. That's what you got to do. like the Miami. They can't even pay people to show up to those games. You can buy bro. You can Miami Marlins. This is why I will never support that team until they become my Florida Marlins again. My Florida Marlins again. My championship winning Florida Marlins again. When they get back to the Florida Marlins, I will support them. This garbage? This guy right here? What for? What for? Treat them like the Marlins. When they can't even get friggin' Girl Scouts to come out there so they can look like they got somebody and do fundraisers and whatnot. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You got to treat it like the Marlins. The Miami Marlins. That's what you got to do. When they ain't got nobody. When that wide shot from Fox or CBS Sports comes through, and you're seeing what people saw from the Carolina Panthers last year. I know I wasn't the only one looking at those pictures. I know I wasn't the only one that saw that. Where it was literally less than 10% of people were in those games last year for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, am I wrong, Mr. Boat? Did you see that too, or was I the only one?
This, I wanted to put one more thing and then I gotta go. But look at the Washington Redskins this season. You see again. So when people talk about the rebuild, and I know I used the Miami Heat, that's not basketball. Okay, I'll take that. I used the University of Miami, that's college football. I can take that. So let's talk about some NFL teams that didn't have the same amount of draft picks, did not have the same amount of money and flexibility. I believe when Greer finally took over, 2019, let's say that's his starting point. He had more flexibility with the cap, more draft picks than Washington Redskins. And again, the season isn't over. But when you're looking at them, I watched them play, and we beat them pretty handily last year. That don't look like the same team. They look good. They got a rookie out there commanding. When I watched that Baltimore Ravens game, it could have went either way.
Either way.
That was not the same in one season. So we can't sit here and act like we got to wait till we 80 years old in order for them to get it right. And like I said, there's some, maybe I'm just wasting my voice, because there's some people that no matter what you say, no matter how much truth you present, they are still going to be stuck in their ways that we're just whining and complaining and we're not get fans. So it's time to just ignore them. But I got a little bit of time before I get some actual work done today. You cannot sit here and say the Detroit Lions, when they finally decided to build it right and get the right coach and get the right culture, right? Let's go to the new dynasty, because the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't always who they are now. They used to be the ketchup and mustard joke of the NFL. Now they have taken the dynasty that was Tom Brady, and now they're the dynasty. What did they do differently? They got the right coach, they got the right quarterback, and they got the right lineup. The Washington Redskins was more humiliation because they actually fired, I think, their owner and made him step down. So for the Washington Redskins to look like, and the season is still young, let's give another team. And this going to make people mad because we don't like this name. The Minnesota Vikings, they lost yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a good game. They lost yesterday. But I think the Minnesota Vikings are in a great position to actually be contenders this year. And they took a man that everybody said was a pariah and got that defense. Now, they got cooked yesterday, but got that defense smoking and joking. Let's look at another team. You need football examples, Green Rat, I'm here for it all. Let's look at the Houston Texans, the one where we
Thank
took one
you,
of our
Day.
first round picks, Tonsil, when we could
Cook.
use a Larry Tonsil right now for our offensive line. You see, I like when people get me angry, and now I got to start really digging into my brain in terms of what letting these people know that you're sitting up here and you're the reason why they are doing what they're doing because they depend on you fans like you to keep this nonsense going. We done seen it countless times where teams rebuild and recover. We have been recovering for 24 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They did a graphic where they showed all of the teams in the NFL, and we were the only one at the bottom with the last win in 2000. Some of you weren't even born. Some of y'all was still in y'all daddy's loins, in your mama's womb, the last time we won a playoff game. I was in high school, and I'm 41 years old.
There it is, Zany. I got it for you. 2000. And by the way, this isn't just the NFL. This is the top 4 leagues. This is among all 4 major leagues in the in America. That is hockey, football, baseball, and basketball. All the teams. The last time that they won a flipping playoff game or even went and made something in the playoffs. There you are, right there at the bottom. Check that out.
And that's even more heartbreaking because it's not just in their respective sports; it's in all sports.
Yeah.
So for people to sit here and be mad that people are upset and frustrated, you are officially a part of the problem. Those individuals that sit here saying that people are complaining, that graphic does not lie. 2000, when Cash Money Records was taking over for the 99 and 2000. That's the last time we won a playoff game. With all of the money that we've had, with all of the draft picks, it just shows you that they have not been doing a productive job. What they have been doing is putting band-aids over gushing blood chest wounds. And that makes you happy to see Tyreek Hill. It makes you happy to see Bradley Chubb that's still not playing. It makes you happy to see OBJ because you're thinking of OBJ when he was with the Giants and catching one-hand catches and one of the best wide receivers in the game. That's not who we got. We got an OBJ that's older and that's doing interviews saying that he don't even know if he want to play football anymore. This is the type. And then what made me upset about the OBJ situation, he admitted that he let the front office know about his situation. And they still went out there and got him. And you know why they got him? Because they pandered to people that know you are in love with that name. So when he got signed, the first thing you did was run to your socials and say, look at Greer cooking. But what you didn't know, he cooked something that was already done. The man sat there and said he let them know what was going on in his life. And he knew he wasn't going to be hitting that field. And that's why whenever the reporters ask them directly a question about OBJ, they do what they always do. Word salad and gaslighting and not answering questions. And then you guys would go and turn around and say, well, y'all just never happy. He brings in people. Yeah, but they either mentally hurt or physically hurt or both. I like Jalen Phillips. I do. I'm a University of Miami football fan. But he has had a long-standing history of mental issues and physical issues. And you know what we did? Instead of getting Greg Rousseau, who's also a University of Miami pass rusher, or some other guys, we went and got Jalen. And I like Jalen Phillips. I do. But they get their data and they still make these decisions. And when they're not available, we sit here and get mad at the fans. Like the scouts, the coordinators, the head coaches, everybody needs to get smoked because ain't no way all these other teams, and I just named a few. I'm sure if you sit down and really think about it, there's so many teams that you can really see that we're rebuilding in 24 seasons. Listen what I'm saying, 2 decades plus 4 years. You trying to tell me you can't get something right? What job keeps you on staff when you can't get something right in 20 plus years? So how dare anyone be upset with anybody that's upset about this? Because if we're being honest, even when Tua comes back, and I have my own opinions about his return, I just want the man to be healthy on and after football. Because to me, we don't know enough about these concussions things and how it affects these guys after the game. That he's able to do everything he needs to constantly do for his family on and off the field. But I don't want to risk proving that we want this guy to do well to hinder the organization when you have other players. Washington proved it. Jalen Daniels came out of nowhere last year from, I believe, LSU. And look how he's carrying. That team is riding on the swagger of a rookie.
Houston,
That tells you
Texas.
what you need to do.
Houston, Texas. Look at it. Look at their quarterback.
It's just frustrating.
It's
It
a
is.
lot of evidence, and I think what hurts us, the majority of us that hail from South Florida, we understand what football means to our community. And even if you're not from South, you love this team and you want to see it do well, and you don't watch all these other different teams raise a trophy over their heads, and we haven't even gotten the bare minimum of winning a playoff game. That is sad. When you watch, I remember when New Orleans was the laughing stocks of the league. And when they won after Hurricane Katrina, I'm a Dolphins fan.
2009, baby.
I was so happy.
2009.
I was so happy for them because of what that city went through. But I was jealous. I was like, when is it Miami's turn? When Seattle won, they won. I said, well, what? Every time somebody else different will win, I'm like, well, when is it going to be our turn? And then you turn around and you look at all of the other sports teams are productive. We're the only ones. And it's not like we don't have the access. We do. That's one thing I can say about Ross. He opens his wallet. But is he listening to the right people when he spends for his groceries? Because I can have a lot of money and I can still spend it recklessly. And that's what I tell people. They're like, oh, but he spends his wallet. But yeah, but is it productive? Like I could spend money, but does that mean it's actually accumulating success?
Are you being efficient with it?
Yeah, and I tend to believe with his age, at this point in his life, F1, we just had was what Taylor Swift was just in Miami. He made a lot of money from that event. I don't care what nobody says. He's real estate. He made. I'm not even in Miami, and they were telling me the traffic down in Carol City this weekend was terrible because that girl was down there performing.
Listen, it was insane. They literally had to shut down so many streets just to deal with the traffic, and they weren't even allowing tailgaters. It was only people with tickets. Only people with tickets. You're talking about 50,000 tickets.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where one can have the assumption, and we all are assuming. But is he really like, are we a part of his business, or are we the main business? You get what I'm saying? Are we a part of the external line of everything that he draws from Joe Robbie Stadium? I still call it Joe Robbie Stadium. Y'all can call it whatever you want. But is the Dolphins, like, where does the Dolphins
Player
fit?
Stadium for me?
Where does the Dolphins fit in that F1, US Open, Taylor Swift? Even the University of Miami has a contract with Ross.
They do,
So
yeah.
So like they're playing FSU on Saturday. Imagine the money he's gonna get in, and that's gonna be a prime time game.
Isn't it the same? Right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I get the idea when people say, well, don't go to the games. I don't even think he cares, because Saturday night he made all that money back. That concert that's coming up in a couple of weeks, he's gonna make that money back. Yeah. And that's why, so but I don't know him personally, so I don't want to assume. But with 2 decades plus uno, dos, tres, cuatro años, I'm working on my Spanish, cuatro años, 2 decades and cuatro años, one can wonder, where does the Dolphins fit on his chain of command? And don't look at it because he gave Sue all that money on the table. I remember that infamous meme when we played Sue and it was all that money on the table, or Mike Wallace and Tyreek Hill. It's a laundry list of people that's getting paid, and that could be a narrative now in the NFL. You
It
may
is
not
a
win.
narrative, Nene. What you
You
mean?
may
Everybody knows you. You come here to retire. We're the retirement home of the NFL, Nene. Haven't you noticed
Yeah,
that every
yeah,
time these
yeah.
players come, it's at the twilight of they're in their 30 somethings, they're in the twilight of their and somehow manage to get a nice contract. 2, 3, 4 years, 60, 70, 80, $93 million fully guaranteed. That son of a I'm sorry, I will never excuse this team for what we paid for Ndamukong and Sue. I will never. The worst contract, in my opinion. I will never forgive them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize for my intensity, but I will never. Look at this, the flipping Miami Marlins. Even them right here, ugly ass logo. But even them in the last few years have even done something within the last 10 years. And where are we? Nowhere to be flipping found, ladies and gentlemen. Nowhere to be found.
But that's what I'm saying. And again, it's that's why, I get Mike McDaniel and I'm not absolving him. But the problems isn't just him. And
Oh no.
that's what the Miami media is trying to do. They did the same thing with Flo. They did. Now Gase was a little strange. They did. It's a common denominator that who else are you going to bring in? Because now here's the thing. People talk. What respecting coach is going to want to come into an environment when the way you need to win, you're not going to be allowed to do that because we're very player friendly. That's the conversation people are not having a conversation about. You don't think for one second that a part of Mike McDaniel's hire was his personality and being player friendly? It's
It's
one of the
the
reasons
reason why he got hired.
there's one of the reasons why Bill Belichick is unemployed. They don't want that rough, hard style coach in certain organizations. And we're one of those teams where
Mhm.
I heard something, and I just need confirmation in the chat, that players have the option to taking themselves out of games. That players have, yeah, that allegedly, I don't know how true this is. I'm not talking about an injury, like they injury and they calling themselves out. No, I'm tired and I just want to go and sit down. And then Mike McDaniel just lets them do it. Like, the players have so much control and say, and I'm not saying they should just shut up and play football. I know people have that narrative, but what I'm saying is, then why would you have a coach to begin with if the players are allowed to do whatever they want to do? And this guy, he's just literally just a token. He's not really coaching. He's literally just like, okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, we'll do that. He's not really making the shot still. So I'm hearing this and it's getting
Yeah, I got
louder.
you.
Is
I
that
got you.
true?
I have the words for you. This is summer camp, and he is the summer counselor. That's it. He's that teenager that got a summer job who was told, okay, listen, just make sure they stay alive, make sure they do some exercise, and return them healthy at the end of the year so that their parents are happy and they come back next year. He is a summer camp attendant. That's all he is. And right now, you're not the only one to hear that, Nene. I heard that too. And
I'm
when
sorry,
I
Miss.
heard that, and the thing is, I heard he essentially said it in his press conference last night.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
missed that on the phone call. What y'all talking about?
that Mike McDaniel, that these players, I'm not talking about being injured. Like obviously you injured, you tap your helmet and
You
say,
don't
I'm
play.
hurt. I get
Hmm.
that. But literally, I don't want to be out here no more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just walk off. I'm hearing that's what's happening now. This is where it's evolved to where players like Tyreek Hill and Waddle are just checking themselves out. Now I know I saw, and I'm not an all 22 person, but I've seen running plays where they're not even blocking. They don't even seem interested as to
Mm-mm.
what's going on. They're having more fun on the sidelines than on the field. So that was what I was asking the question. I kind of heard it, but I didn't know if that
No,
source
no,
was.
it's true because I watched the interview. It's hard to listen to this man. I'm telling you right now, it is so hard to listen to him because the way he speaks is almost like I need 3 more ears just to be able to understand what this man is saying because he takes 60 years to answer a yes or no question. And it's like it hurts so much. But essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, yeah, he said that, the players right now are taking it what the hell was the word he said? I don't say taking it easy. There, he said a specific word. Damn it!
Well, y'all got Miss Phins cussing, so you know this is real.
No, this is
I can,
why I say
I can
today is
understand
PG
why.
13. I'm so mad.
No, I can understand why.
No, because he actually essentially said, yeah, these players right now, it's okay because these players, right now they're just making sure that they take care of themselves. Essentially, they're reserving themselves for when Tua comes back
They're
next year.
making business decisions.
Business
Right,
decisions.
right.
Who
Wow.
the
No, but
Sorry, last time I checked, you got paid $30 million a year, right? That's not $30 million a week when to a freaking place. It's $30 million, Mister Number One. Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! I'm number one! I'm number one! No, you're not. You suck. And Justin Jefferson is 10 times the receiver you are. Why? Because he'll never do this. He's played with bums like Sam Darnold, making him look like he's quarterback of the year. And your lame ass is sitting on the sideline looking like an idiot doing absolutely nothing for your quarterback. And guess what? It's not Tua Tagovailoa, so I can shut up and do your damn job. You got $30 million. We're paying you child support payments, sir. And you
thank
can
you.
show up for your quarterback? I don't care if it's an A-string quarterback. You show up. You do your job. You lead this team. What does that C mean to you? Are you serious?
Well, piggyback on you,
That
Miss Finn.
like
Look at what Jonas Smith was doing yesterday
oh
with Tyler. Look at what Jonah was doing yesterday. Jonah was playing ball yesterday, trying to help his quarterback. Is he getting paid the same amount of money as Tyreek and
hell no,
Waddle?
man.
No,
We're only getting
but
paid
that
$2
man
million.
trying to help his quarterback. The man trying to help his quarterback, and that's
And
You
what
you
know
made
like
what?
me
I'm
angry
number
yesterday.
one. I'm
See him
number
helping
one.
his
Get the
quarterback,
fuck out of here, man.
and
I
he's a
got it.
tight end.
Looking our guy EM, you know, I could just hear his condescending laugh saying, "Turn up, Miss Fans. Turn up,
I
Miss
see
Fans."
I
One
see
Right.
him.
time for EM in the building.
What's up,
Cause
Ian?
I would
And
say this. Go
also, do
ahead,
y'all
Miss.
see Jonas Smith sitting over there with Tyreek there?
Nope. I
No, no.
For the people who missed on the sideline laughing. Business decisions. Who the hell are you? You're the employee. You tell me, guys, I am inquiring for a new job. Please let me know what workplace allows you to get paid millions to not do your job. Please tell me I want to apply today. I want to apply. Like, this is
Listen,
insane.
Yes,
and that's what
yes,
I'm
it is.
saying. But even with Mike McDaniel letting that happen, we clearly see that he's wrong. But to me, somebody else got to step in. It's like when I was in the military. If I see a young NCO that he got promoted with his peers, and now he don't realize that he's in charge, and you gotta hit that line that you work for me. Hate to say it like that, but you work for me. Sometimes that other supervisor gotta come and intervene. Like, hey, I see that you're trying, but it's not working, and that's when me Hill and everybody that was in there, OBJAA, y'all come. We call it the red carpet. Come and sit on this red carpet. We got questions and then the fact that the camera got that was on a national broadcast. You see that, and it makes other teams not take us seriously, and it makes me do wonder. Like
Exactly.
you brought up Sue. has this been the conversation for big time players? Because remember, there was a time we weren't really getting no big time players, right? And I think what happened once we started getting big time names, people got happy that we were finally getting some names down here, and that Ross was not being a cheap owner. He was actually opening his wallets. Because to me, when we talk about Stephen Ross, that's one of the things that when people defend him, they're like, but he's not a cheap owner. He's willing to open his wallet and he's willing to pay people to come down here. He wants to win. And people even say him getting caught cheating was another example of how bad he wants to win. I'm like, really? I think that was sloppiness. What he did to get caught. Because we all know that they do it. We're not going to sit here and like act like these owners are innocent on how they get people to come to their teams. It's always boat business meetings that get people to recruit when they're not supposed to recruit. I just wonder who is backing Mike McDaniel when he clearly is overwhelmed. Like there's times when the camera shows him, and maybe it's just when they catch him, he just looks like this is too much for him. That's why earlier when we started to fall a little bit last year, I brought up the narrative. Maybe he needs to pass his play calling to Frank Smith or somebody else, because this just looks like it's just too much for him to do by himself. It's like he's reality, and then with Tua not being here, and that's why I could be on the record. I'm glad you mentioned Mr. Polk about being wrong. I was wrong that this system you could just plug and play anybody. Clearly, Tua and his skill of getting that ball out, not just getting it out, but getting it accurately thrown. I got to give him that credit, and because then I'm glad you brought
Sorry,
that
guys.
up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I got to give you credit because Tua's absence has, but to me, it's kind of hard to give full credit because we already know they're not adjusting the playbook to what they have, if that makes sense. But just to act like Tua doesn't have any talent, you can't have that conversation anymore. It's too much evidence that he does have talent. The problem is his availability in a sport where teams are not going to take it easy on you because you have an issue with concussions or an issue with injuries. That's the conversation when I have these heated debates about Tua. It's not that we don't believe in his talent. He is clearly talented, and his absence has shown his accuracy and his time is important. The problem is the one season out of 5-6. No franchise can tie a wagon, and that was the one thing I didn't like that Mike McDaniel did. He literally tied his future to Tua, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see what's happening now. Now that Mike McDaniel's future is in question, is Tua going in that office fighting to keep him here like he was keeping Tua here? That remains to be seen. To me now, there's a new question that has been brought up with this situation because even Tua, I think, went on the record and said Mike went in there. I guess some people had doubt. We don't know who those people are. Well, I'm not going to quote. I know these people are. But clearly that contract wasn't 100% everybody on board to where Mike McDaniel had to go up there and put his name in it. And like, this is who I want to play with. Now, I wonder, is he doing the same? Because we see him on the sidelines. We see him chewing sunflower seeds. We see him with the headset. Is he going there? Because clearly Ross and the collective were in the locker room. Tua was there. Or is he batting for Mike McDaniel like Mike McDaniel was batting for him to keep his job with the Miami Dolphins? I don't know. But I'll land there because I kind of went, now my brain is thinking about that scenario.
You cooking, Nate?
Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know if you can hear me or not. My internet went out, so I didn't even know what happened. I'm trying to get it reset, but then I can work on that later. But can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. I just love what Mr. Polk said because I think if we get more of that attitude in the community, because we got a lot of attitudes and egos in our community, is a very special. I think the day that we win, because we are just due. I don't care what nobody says. If any franchise is due to win, it's the Miami Dolphins. when we win, there's still gonna be some people griping, but a lot of people deserve for the time they put in. I think about some of the people I know, like Tony, that travels across the country to watch this team and hotels, and I don't do none of that. I hit NFL Sunday ticket that's free because I'm a college student, and I watch painfully. I don't put no gas money. I don't put none of that in there. I learned a long time ago that my finances are a little bit allotted to other teams from Miami. I'm just gonna be honest. But my whole point is we sitting here and you just wonder, we got a press conference coming today from Mike McDaniel. Are now the new conversation, did they do a soft tank for Tua? But to me, that would be so unfair to a lot of the competitors on that team who still come in that building every day and give 100%. You can see it, like Zach Sealer. Everybody was
Yeah.
talking about Christian Wilkins. I got to put this out
Mhm.
here. Everybody was talking about Zach Sealer was a byproduct of Christian Wilkins. And now that Christian Wilkins is gone, Zach is going to go back to whatever he was before Christian Wilkins. Zach Sealer is playing good ball. He
Yes,
is
he is.
playing good
He's
ball.
dominating.
He is playing
Yes,
good
he
ball.
is.
And I would say I was wrong about with the system of Mike McDaniel. He can make anybody great, or the weapons. No, Tua does have a talent, and it's time for some people to say that. But you can also say his availability is still concerning with what our ultimate goals are. Our ultimate goals is not to have a game where we throw for 400 or 500 yards and then he takes a hit and he's out for 3 or 4 games. And now we're just stuck with somebody that doesn't have it's not even a filler, and we're not even putting a game plan together. Or it looks, because I'm glad he brought up something and he was right. None of us in the building, so we don't really know 100% sure what they're doing and what they're not doing. We can only see on game day what it looks like, what's going on by their production, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just at this point, like, it just turns into being so frustrating, ladies and gentlemen, because we listen, even the most casual fans, the ones that are like, hey, I'm just gonna watch, Sundays, blah blah blah. Even they know for a fact. I feel like it's almost like you have to go. I'm like, am I having deja vu? But like a more expensive deja vu? Because if you think about it, we're in the same cycle we've been. The same cycle we've been. When Flores came in here, and I'm only gonna say it because of the contract, guys. Relax. He was the first coach we had in 20 years given a 5-year contract. That's when I said, oh, snap. So they're serious about this real. You mean to tell me we got what? 15 picks in the draft. In the next 2 drafts, we got almost 30 picks in the next 2 drafts. We've got all this cap money. And now we got, a head coach that they really is gonna bring the stability, it's gonna bring the culture, it's gonna bring the what's it called? I don't want to say
Discipline.
Patriot way, the discipline. Yeah, the discipline and the structure to the team that we needed. Because under Adam Gase, this team was 1,000% out of control. We were, funny enough, the most penalized team under Adam Gase. Maybe I don't know what it is about our offensive coaches, head coaches that we keep hiring, but take a look in the last 25 years, ladies and gentlemen. All of our offensive minded head coaches, we've had
Mm-hmm.
the worst penalties in the NFL. We're in the bottom if we're not dead last with them. And it's like you don't even have to know football to the extent that we do over here. You can just be a regular fan and be like, oh my God, the same old Dolphins, same old Dolphins. Let me guess, this season we're going to win, what, 8 games? Because this is what people don't get. Compare us to the Browns. Ladies and gentlemen, the Browns are in an even worse position than we are. Because They suck. The organization sucks. The only time they won is when they moved to Baltimore and they became the Baltimore Ravens. And then they won because they changed the culture there. But the Cleveland Browns are worse than us because they've never won a Super Bowl. All those fans, and every year they're just bottom of the league. What's different about us and them is that they almost always pick in the top 10. But the Miami Dolphins are the most mid team in the NFL. Mid team. Check it. The last 25 years, 500. We're the most 500 team. We split that motherfucking schedule right down the middle. It's always the same thing. Good enough not to be good enough. Good enough to win enough games to almost maybe perhaps think about it and be just next to the playoffs, but not really in it. But not good, not being bad enough where like, damn, we can get a top 5 pick. Nope. 18th. We live off of picking 18th to 24 every flipping year. Every year it's the same crap. The same garbage this team has given us for the last 25 years. It's insane. It's insane. At least people older than me got a chance to see the Marino era. I didn't get to see it. Maybe the tail end, but I didn't get to see Marino in his prime or none of that.
I wanted to say something about the run game. And this where it goes back to leadership. You can always tie things to leadership. I saw the first half and I didn't have a problem with what Mike McDaniel was doing. He was getting the tight end in. When you have a backup quarterback, that is probably one of the best things to do. Get your running game involved and get your tight end involved. I didn't think that was the problem. But what I did see as the problem, especially when that video rolls up about, the two captains over there. If your captains don't buy in to what you're doing, then it's still not going to work. So when people say, "Oh, y'all wanted the run game, we ran the ball, and we still failed," because your team still wasn't locked in with the game plan. They can get behind the podium and give you lip service all day, but the proof is in the pudding. Example, going to a champion I love, Michael Jordan, right? When he wanted to run his type of offense where he got a whole bunch of points and a whole bunch of accolades, but he wasn't winning any championships. And then Phil Jackson got there and say, "Listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run this triangle offense." And at first, he didn't like it. But once he saw that these guys, the Detroit Pistons and other teams, have prepared for me and they're going to beat me down, I have to buy into what my coach is telling me to do. And once he bought in, if you've never seen The Last Dance, once he bought in, they started putting those banners over their heads because he started to understand his talent was going to get him the notoriety and the numbers that he wanted, but it wasn't going to give him any championships. I say that to say this. From the body language that I'm getting from Tyreek Hill and Waddle, to know that everybody's making such a big deal about the targets. And I do agree, they do need to be targeted, right? But I remember when they was getting so many targets, we were still losing. We were still folding like a cheap suit. So if you're going to sit here and say, "Oh, we're running the ball and you're still whining," well, we were throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill and he was close to NFL history and Waddle was all of these numbers. And yet we still wasn't winning those real big games consistently. You have to have buy-in, not just for when things you want to do. That's the whole point of you being a part of the team. And I just brought one of the biggest egos ever to play the game. They said Michael Jordan hated to lose. The way he hazed people on the team about winning. And he had to get gut checked when the coach came in and said, "This is what we're going to do." I say that to say this. If Mike McDaniel's game plan was like, "Look, Tyreek, Waddle, y'all going to be doing a lot of blocking on Sunday. The ball going to Jonnu, the ball going to these running backs. If you want to win, damn it, I'm sorry. If you want to win, then you got to buy in. You better be the best blocking wide receiver we ever had to ever play the game. You better be, and now it makes sense when all of a sudden you see Waddle. You didn't even get a pass your way, but you limping, you grabbing your leg. To me, we have an old thing in the military. We call it malingering. You shamming. So now it ain't really no injury.
I'm
It's just
sorry. Say that word again. Say that word again.
malingering. Yeah, it's like when everybody be turned up and partying in the club on Friday night, but then when we gotta do a 5 mile run on Monday, all of a sudden everybody's sick. Everybody gotta go sick call. Now I just saw you in the club. This back in the day when they used to call get crunk in an 8-time sub. You had your Hurricane, your Hennessy, and Tanqueray. But all of a sudden now, Sunday I called you to, hey, we going on a run. A start, I'm sick. I got my chest hurts. I'm glad back in that time we ain't have COVID. I could only imagine what I would have got. But my whole point is this: it seemed like a whole bunch of malingering. Because now watch Arizona game. If we engage and we waddling and we celebrating, now I got a real problem with them too. Because at this, Tyler Huntley didn't ask to be here. Neither did Tim Boyles or anything like that. And when y'all stand in front of the podium and y'all say, well, I support the quarterback. No, you don't, because we see what you're doing on the field. Period.
My booty. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't support. They absolutely don't support. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing. And this is what pissed me off, because last time I freaking went through this. Color and I, shout out to my co-host on League Wide Wednesday, guys. Come check us out. Hit that like button, guys. Color and I, we went through it. Kurt Warner went through a play where had Waddle not ran literally a lazy route, Tyler Huntley would have hit him and he would have been gone for a touchdown. But because he didn't run that route right, it was lazy. He literally brought the defense towards both receivers to the point that one DB got to cover 2 players instead of just one, or even taking him out of the play to allow the underneath to get the ball. But we couldn't do that because, again, Waddle didn't execute. And then Waddle admitted it afterwards. So if you're saying you're not executing, bro, you need to go ahead and execute. You need to execute. At this point, you have to execute no matter who the quarterback is. And right now, I'm bringing this up real quick because then you reminded me of something. And I'm like, you know what? I got to take a look at this. This Tyreek Hill, ladies and gentlemen, 93rd in average, tied 62nd in touchdowns, 48th in yards, and 49th. I thought you was number 1, sir. What had happened? Huh? But I thought you were number 1. The best player in the NFL. I guarantee you this, you ain't even going to crack 100 this year. You're not even going to crack 100. All your co-hosts, all of your teammates, and what is that person that you work with? Co-workers. There you go. Your co-workers, all your co-workers are going to be like, yeah, he fell off hard. So he about to be 101 and not 100. Like, are you kidding me? And you mean to tell me that, oh, this is on the quarterback? Guess what? Even with Tua, they were playing crappy. So y'all have 0 leg to stand on. You play garbage with Tua, and you've been playing garbage with these other quarterbacks. That's it. Same thing with Waddle. Where the hell is he? Same thing with Waddle. 94th in yards, average yardage. 100, tied for 150 plus with 0 touchdowns. Tied 58th with 269 yards. Tied 64th with only 22 receptions. I'm starting to hate these Alabama guys. Mother flipping Tyreek is from West Alabama University. And this dumbass is from freaking number the time. I hate Alabama. Don't
Say
ever
that
bring
again,
me
Miss
that one
Phins.
more mother freaking player from Alabama. I swear to you, if it ain't a mother freaking tackle, don't talk to me about no damn Alabama player. I don't want no wide receivers. I don't want no quarterback. I don't want nothing. Don't give me no defense either. If it ain't a left tackle, I don't want him. Never that. My ass. Crap is what it is. Garbage. Alabama. Both of them from Alabama.
And then Miss
I'm
Phins,
so over these guys.
why can't I'm gonna say this and that's gonna really get the room riled up. Why can't they run back punts and kickoffs? If he can't get you the ball, let's play the argument. The quarterback is so sorry he can't get you the ball, right? What? Well, Indy wasn't lighting it up offensively. You were captain. You ran back kickoffs and punts returns in Kansas City. Hey, hey, coach, let me no Braxton, sit down. We need to get the ball. And that's to me what a leader does. You find a way to impact the game. You don't sit there and pout like a child and then take yourself out the game. And like I
Who's
said,
just gonna take themselves something? Not that game.
and here's the other thing too I wanted to put out there. I said this earlier in the season and people got mad at me. The Dolphins created their own mess before a ball was snapped this year. Miss Fans, you know where I'm getting ready to go.
Oh God, don't do it. But do it, but don't do it, but do it. Just go ahead and do it. Rip
I
off the
said
band-aid.
I said when they kept running this campaign about when Tua set his non-concussion self and did that interview with Dan Lebatard to keep putting the icing on the on the cake about Brian Flores. I said that was not a good move. And some people believe in karma. Some people believe in what you reap what you sow. But I said, leave this man alone and let him
You
stay
reap
in
what you
Minnesota.
sow.
So exactly.
Mind your business. Leave it alone. You got your money. Move on.
Now
And
who's looking like the dumbass? Yeah,
Thank you.
you heard me. And again, I said today was PG-13. So I warned everybody.
you know, I thought it was funny because it seems like they were trying so hard to make sure this man don't get another job. But look, it looked like Mike McDaniel may be out of a job. You see how this works? Like you got to be careful when you move a certain type of way. I'm a firm believer in this concept. And some people be like, nah, that's a stretch. No, it's true. How you treat people and how you do people, it come back to you. There was no reason to do all of that foolishness. I hated Omar and Big O and Adam Beasley. They were running that thing like spin cycle. And they were like, and the big news was catching it because they were saying, should Flores be a coach after what he's done to Tua? Now look at Mike McDaniel. You done did everything but shine this man's shoes. And you are the one that's in trouble. Oh Lord, breaking news. You gotta hit your break.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Deshaun Watson, after MRIs, has been officially ruled out for the rest of the year with a leg injury. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to give you guys let you guys know he is in his third season of his contract already. The majority of his contract has already been paid by the Cleveland Brown. They have 2 more years and I think an extra avoidable year, but we don't know what's gonna happen with with what do you call it, with um with him. You know what I'm saying? For me right now, hey, I hope he gets better. I hope he gets what he needs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and this, I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so tired of some people. I'm not gonna use the word that I want to use because I'm still classy. But some people out there, I'm not naming no names, you know who you are, or if you feel like that's you, then that's you. If it fit, if the shoe fits, right? That's how you supposed to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, if I wanted Deshaun Watson at one point, I'm going to stand on that because that's who I wanted at that point. I don't understand. And I went back and forth with somebody last night too on the TG chat. Great show, by the way, guys. I'm not understanding, but the only people that seem to always bring back Deshaun, what about Deshaun Watson? What about Deshaun? Y'all want it. I'm like, you realize that everybody else moved on and you still stuck on that? Like, you need help? There is help out there, ladies and gentlemen. 1-800-GET-HELP. Okay? 1-800-GET-HELP will be right there with you. Okay? Please, please get the help that you deserve. Okay? I'm all about the healing. All about the healing. Okay? But if I wanted somebody at that moment, hell yeah, I want it. You give me Lamar Jackson right now, I'll take him. You give me Deshaun Watson, who I thought he was going to be. Obviously, he's injured, so I don't want him now. But yes, I'll take him. I don't care. It is what it is. And hell yes, I'ma always be a Florineer or a Flory whatever. Because I believe in my mother flipping head coach, who I knew finally was gonna be the destruction. Clearly, we all need it. Why? Because it takes no talent for these overpaid, no good for nothing players that we have. That's why. Because it takes no talent. And that's what my head coach told me. And guess what? You know what? I will never apologize for that. Because I don't need to. I wanted him. He's no longer in my team. I could care less about the player, ladies and gentlemen. If the player is not here, goodbye. Goodbye. Y'all know I love Mike is sexy. But I can't say that. I wish him good luck. But I hope his team fails every single time he goes up against the Dolphins. Period. Because unlike some people, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. See, you see this very beautiful logo? For me, the logo is above all. Any player, GM, or whatever. Hell, even owner. Because in my lifetime, I've seen two owners. Huizenga and this moron. And right now, I'll tell you this. I know for a fact these losers won't be here in 20 years, but you know who's still going to be repping the Dolphins? My dumbass. Why? Because I love this freaking team, and they always pull me in, man. Oh, gosh.
Same way. Same
I'm
way.
like, you don't
Like I
deserve
said,
my loyalty. Do you know what type of... I'm such a loyal person. This team does not deserve my loyalty. It doesn't. It doesn't deserve our loyalty. I'm
I'm with you
telling
on
you.
that. I'm with you.
But
Listen, ladies, I got to jump off, but it was a pleasure being up there with both of y'all. I wish I can go longer with y'all, but I got to take care of some things.
No, I
For a new.
appreciate you, Mr. Polk. What's your final thoughts, real quick, before you go, about the team and where we're at right now?
It's hard to say, Miss Phins and Nene, because I am so disappointed, angry at what's going on. We should change our name to some kind of candy bar or something, because it's just a lot of sugar coat going on. Too much sugar coat. You should get Hershey a run for their money because of the sugar
For
coat.
real.
And it's sad. It's sad. So, you know, I'm still a Dolphin fan, always will be. That's not going to change. But what needs to change is the whole office needs to change, and a couple players, like the two that was sitting down on the sideline joking around with their head coach, and and Jonah Smith in there playing his heart out, trying to help our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I leave you with that. And thanks for letting me be up here, Miss Fans. Nene, I enjoyed you. I will see you guys soon.
Oh,
See you soon, buddy.
I love, and I know we, Miss Finch, you probably got to go ahead and get my final thoughts. I definitely, Mr. Polk, I respect you so much. That time we had that debate that bothered me because I think it was the first time we didn't see things on the same sheet of music. But again, just your maturity and and that day it had me laughing, Miss Finch. You should have been there. He's like, I hear your point, but I got my point now, and I'm gonna say my point. And I'm
I
gonna
love
say my point. I'm gonna say my point, but it just shows your character about and I think all of us for the most part that have, I guess, what people may feel as a negative outlook of this team. I think a lot of us don't want to have that, but we don't want to lie on what we see.
Exactly.
And when you really love something, right? You really do.
Mm-hmm.
You can also be honest when it's wrong. And I
Hmm.
think that's where you have shown so much humility and grace. You really love this team where you could say, because I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna offend some people. Some people don't want to admit that the girl was right. They don't. It's a lot of pride and different things. So for you to do that, it really meant a lot to me because there's a lot of people that I've had these debates and they don't want to even talk no more. They don't even hold spaces no more because they don't want to hear my mouth. But I'm here regardless because I love this team. But I wanted my final thought to thank you, Mr. Pope, because this team breaks our hearts in so many ways. And thankfully, a lot of us have other teams that kind of keep us from not going insane. But when you
Ooh.
deal with a fan like you, it just
Uh-huh.
makes being a part of this community amazing. So that's my final thought. And thank you, Mr. Pope, for being who you are.
Thank you,
That's
Nene, and
awesome.
thank you, Miss Finch. That's why I say love and respect our Lady Dolphins because they have good knowledge of the game just as well as we do, and we can all learn from each other because we are all Miami Dolphins. Period. Period. We can learn from each other. So don't look at gender and and be a cheesehead. I'm gonna use the word cheesehead. Let's respect each other. Let's love our team. Let's criticize our team. Let's compliment our team. So with that being said, listen, like I said, I'll check for y'all later.
Appreciate it, Mr. Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Nene, man, I'll tell you this. At this point, this you just don't even know what to do anymore. At this point, I almost feel like it's frustrating because the potential of this team was there, and it just feels like you got given the keys to a Ferrari, and I'm not talking about the speed of the our players or whatever. I'm talking about an insane, very beautiful, well manufactured Italian machine. And it's like you don't even know how to take care of it, how to put the oil, do the maintenance, take care of the tires. Like you don't know how to drive this thing. You don't know how to drive stick shift. Like we just completely destroyed this team. And I get it. People, we wanna, when Tua comes back, he's gonna die. Hopefully, hopefully at this point, can I get 3 shots of hopium, please? I need some hopium right now. Any dealers, I am open for business. Any hopium, please bring it in. Because it's like, what else are we supposed to do? This team clearly has felt the need to just let us down over and over and over again. It's like at this point, that's why I can't even blame people that go to other teams. Maybe I want to see a team with that will actually fail, but then fell forward and actually progress and get better. Damn, we can't even do what the Rams did, which is trade everybody, get everything you can, and then go ahead and let's get the Super Bowl. Boom, let's keep it moving. You don't think those fans care right now that maybe their players are injured? Maybe we got to move on and rebuild. They don't care. They just hosted the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. Like, Oh my gosh, Michael K. There is nothing on this earth or God's green, very beautiful earth that will get me into climbing into the Bills bandwagon because, see, I like winning organizations, and my minimum standard is at least one Super Bowl. So holler back when y'all get that one, and then maybe I might reconsider. Okay. Uh, I'm just saying. Love you, man, but I like winning Super Bowl winning organization. Okay, and at this point, it's just frustrating. What else can you do? But talk to me, Nene. I know you gave us your final thought with Mr. Pook,
Yeah,
but
I just
what do you got on this team? Seriously.
well, I remember when we had our conversation a couple of months ago. I told you I would have to go game by game because I
Hmm.
wasn't sure what we would look like when my friends went to training camp and they said how bad we looked. And these were some very positive. I love these Dolphins. They always right. And they were like, I'm be honest with you, they look bad. So that's why I tempered my expectation to one game at a time. Um, I just think when Tua comes back, it's going to be rinse, wash, and repeat. We're going to win some games. It's going to be at home. The crowd's going to be into it. I don't think Arizona is that good of a team. Not really sure how good they are. But then we'll be back to people saying, where's all the doubters? And I just think at some point you learn in this community, I call it the rib concept. Chew the meat, spit the bones. You're gonna have people where you're just gonna have
Oh
to just
Lord.
spit. Because when you eat a rib, I hope you don't be eating the bones and the black stuff that come out the bones. No, you only get the meat and the barbecue sauce of it, and you throw everything else away. Some people are just stuck in where their convictions are, and that's what it is. But in terms of the team, I think it was always structured improperly. Um, you can't be messy and think that your team is going to do well. You have to have some type of discipline and structure. You got to have leaders that's not afraid to hurt people's feelings. You can't have people that's just here for the money and the notoriety, but they don't want any accountability or they don't look at Tyreek Hill. I guarantee you he may get a text or two this week about the fans. And I'm sorry, it just makes me more and more aware of Kansas City parting ways with him. Is that they knew more than what we did. How Chris Greer said, y'all care more about the offensive line. Clearly, Kansas City knew about Tyreek to where they said, we can trade you off and we still can be successful. And that's our leader. Literally, it's him, Tua, and I mean, I guess you could say Waddle. I still think Waddle is still a puppy in some ways with development. And I just feel bad for some of the older guys like Calais Campbell and some of the other guys that you can visibly see they want to win and they're out there giving 100%. And you can see guys that are jogging around and just whatever. I'll make a business decision until Tua comes back and then we'll play ball. You can't do that because when the fans got charged, they ticket rates, even the streaming, you didn't get a discount if Tua played or not. You got charged full rate. So if that's the case, then you need to give us a full performance. Period. That's where I'm upset about it. Don't walk around here with this nonchalant attitude. And
Mm.
just because we paid for something, I don't expect us to win every game, but I expect you to give us effort. I expect you not to quit. That Buffalo game, that was one game that really made me upset. And it made a lot of fans I know personally upset because they quit. They quit on themselves. And again, what they should have been doing if they're a good organization is giving fans back their money, half what they got, because it's not giving us what we deserve.
And
Period.
did you know that? I don't know if you know this because I know that you don't live here, but I know you have friends that do. Did you know that they actually raised this is what my friends told me. They raised the season tickets by 700, 1200, 1500, $2,000. Like my friend was like, "Man, I don't know how much longer I can be dealing with this because it's him and his wife and the kids." So when I tell you, I know people shelling out like 10 grand to try to see this stupid team, and this is the garbage they give us. I'm being super serious between jerseys and buying food in the what do you call it, in the stadium and all that crap. Like, people are paying their hard-earned money, and I feel like this man is twisted. Like, he thinks everybody in Miami is super loaded. A lot of people, yes, duh, you know what I mean. But there's still common folk, blue collar, who just work all day, 8, 10, 12, 16-hour, 18-hour days, go home, get a beer, eat, drink, and go to sleep to do the same thing all over again 6, 7 times a week, just to have one day where they can, chill with football. Like, they're not thinking all this extra stuff, you know what I mean?
And then the other thing is, I always use college, but I've been watching Cam Ward in the Hurricanes, and when they made mistakes, you see what he do? He grabbed that iPad. The whole offense is together looking at that iPad and seeing what went wrong. When Mostert fumbled, he was on that bench by himself. I don't know if you saw that.
And
Nobody.
it was him and one other person who fumbled after him, because we had that fumble and then we had another fumble right after him. Who was the one that fumbled second
I
time?
can't lie. I was on the call, but I heard it was the tailback that did it. What's his
Oh,
name?
Alec Ingle. So yeah, so you had him and then you had Alec Ingle after. Literally one fumble, the next he fumbled, both of them sitting on the bench by themselves, saying nothing but looking dumbfounded. Like, I don't know what happened.
But that's
Like,
what I'm saying. And people, there's a couple of people that say, "Oh, well, you can't compare the two." Yes, you can. It's saying that we made a mistake. Now that we made a mistake, hey, let's gather what went wrong. And you got technology. Grab that. Hey, what happened on this play? Okay, what? But these guys either look disinterested by themselves or they're laughing and joking. And that is why you see the performance that you do. I don't care what nobody says, but that is fact. Your attitude does play a lot on how you perform.
everything is intertwined. If you've ever played sports, I know you were in the military. Um, but if you ever played organized sports ever, ladies and gentlemen, and I did my entire life, you excuse me, there's a reason why they say mind over matter. This gotta be right. This is Michael Jordan told you. 80-90% of the game is up here. The rest is just practice. If you don't have this, forget it. Because your mental attitude, mental fortitude, which is what you should have. I don't know why some of these players are acting so, I don't want to say weak, but give me a different word for weak, because it's along the same lines, but it's more of lacking the mental toughness, I guess.
Matt, the lethargic, the
You know,
nonchalantness,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you think about it, the way that they're acting, it's as if everybody got paid. So they don't care no more. And Michael K, thank you. That's another word. That's a great word too. They feel entitled, like, I got paid. I don't gotta do nothing because I know you guys need me and you're stuck with me. It's like, holy smokes. But that, yeah, nonchalant, very, very like you just don't care. Where's that fire? Where's that hunger of, where's that personal pride where no matter what or who's out there, I'm gonna give my 110%, because every film I put out there is gonna show that I'm putting effort every single time. Where's the dog in them?
Well, and
It's
I
like,
would tell you this again. To me, it still starts from the top. Like for instance, we're getting into the basketball season, but a lot of people had problems with Pat Riley said about Jimmy Butler and his team. But he put the mandate out. I need y'all to be available. I'm not giving you no more money until You can show me that you are available.
And
Period.
what did Jimmy do? What did Jimmy do? Publicly
Played in
too.
pre and
Publicly too.
played in preseason games that he never played in before. Tyler, he called out Tyler Hero. Look, all these injuries, that's cute. Yeah, we don't went to the final, but I don't care nothing about that. Our goal is championship. I need everybody from top to bottom. He even called out Spo. I need him to work on that offense. And that was
Mm.
a public press conference. Listen, I need him. Yeah, what they've been doing is cute and everything, and they got to the final, but we ain't winning. I need him to work on the offense. I need him to figure out how to get Bam the ball more. I need them to work. And that's what I'm saying. When your president, your team president comes out and says that, and not saying, y'all think y'all know more than us. You see the difference in the personality and you see how the players responded. Jimmy now is saying, look, it's a couple of million. I'm happy to be here. He's not sulking on the bench. Now, remember what happened in Minnesota? They didn't pay him. He sat out. He refused to play. That's the difference of when you take an attitude at the front. Like, look, everything is not given here. It's earned. And to be honest, Jimmy Butler has more of a standing tool than Tua because he could say, look, I took my team to the NBA Finals. We were 2 games away from a championship. So
Twice.
technically, he
Twice.
he can go in a room and say, listen, hey Pat, what would you been without me? For like Tua fans, they'd be like, well, what would the Dolphins be without Tua? Yeah, but that kind of doesn't matter because you didn't win the ultimate prize. That's what it comes down to. And guess what Coach Spo said? He said, Pat, my boss, Pat Riley, made a mandate and a call for availability, and I had to work on me too.
You see?
It
But
was
you see, accountability, Nene. Isn't that what we talked about earlier today? Accountability. We've been saying this all off season. Accountability.
but that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. And even with Mario, I go to football because when Mario was here, he inherited Manny Diaz, and Manny Diaz is doing well at Duke. Let's be honest, he's doing pretty good. But it was still, from what I heard, it was kind of like the environment with the Dolphins. The players were just doing whatever they wanted to do. It was really a frat club. And that's not how the University of Miami was their successful days. That's not how that worked. They practiced more than when they got to the actual competition. It was easy because practice was harder. And Manny, I remember when all those guys started going to the transfer portal when Mario got here. He literally cleaned house. OC, goodbye. DC, goodbye. All of you, I remember he told the parents, if you don't like us, then pick up your son at the corner. We are
Did
trying to
he?
do something
Even the
different.
scouts. Even the scouts.
Goodbye.
He's like, nah, everybody. Cut, cut, cut. And that's what I was saying earlier. A real rebuild. The Panthers just did it too. The Florida Panthers did it too. We had our old coach, and we were getting almost nowhere. And we were like, no, we're done. What did they do? Fired everybody. Hired Paul Maurice. Got in his assistant coaching. Went ahead and picked up some great free agents. Made some great draft moves. And guess what? Year one of the best teams in the league. Year 2, made it to the Stanley Cup and lost. Year 3, Super Bowl. I mean, sorry. I can't wait till I say that. Stanley Cup champs, ladies and gentlemen. Stanley Cup champs. That's a real rebuild.
And
Let
but
go of
see,
some expensive players that were not working for us. Let them go too and traded them.
but
Like,
see, AB comment is where I say, the line. So what should we do? Trade Monster and all? That's not what we're saying. For some people, you may have to make that decision, but you can start with Julian Hill. Look here, this bench, get very familiar with it, sir. Until you learn snaps and how to not get calls on you. You gotta start somewhere. You can't just sit here and just let this thing continue to happen over and over again. Be like, okay, they'll eventually get it right. No, right? So we saying trade Mostert, are we trying to the guys that fumbled? And that's where I'll be like, is people trolling? And then if you're really serious, is that how your brain really spins around in this rotation of what you're thinking, what we're saying? No, but you cannot continue to do the same thing, let people do what they want to do, no account. And when we say accountability, what does that look like for the NFL? What can one do? Well, first of all, a fan can't do nothing. So let's start there. Me as
Yeah,
a
we
fan,
can. Yeah.
what we can do for accountability is basically the only thing we're doing it right now, calling it out for what we're seeing, right? And not masking it and making it excuses and putting these fairy tales in place to act like what's happening is not happening. So if you want to, AB, the fans' accountability is what we're doing right now. We're calling a spade a spade. We're not calling it clubs. We're not calling it diamonds. We're not calling it hearts. It's a spade. Now, for the organization, it would depend on what is their resources to holding them accountable. Have they had these conversations with most? Well, Mostert hasn't been fumbling continuously, so I can't say
This
that
is
neither.
this is his second fumble, I think, is a Miami Dolphins. I think he fumbled once last year. I don't remember him being like a fumble machine.
Yeah,
Like
and AB he brought up another one, not buy tickets and merch, but that's why
yeah, that's
I bring the examples of Ross revenue is really not dependent on the Miami Dolphins. He has so many things flowing into what I call that entertainment center. If y'all stop buying tickets and merch, is he really losing? Like, that's why when people say he put so much money into the stadium, yeah, it was to get money back. It was to make that facility available for F1, to make the benchmarks to be US Open, to hit the check marks of World Cup, to be able to host the national championship. You know, when you put in a bid for those things, your building and your facility has to have certain amenities to even get in the application process. And
it's
that's
what
why I say,
happened to us when we lost the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 50 was supposed to come to Miami, but we didn't get Super Bowl 50 only because Stephen Ross refused to pay the money to do the whole canopy thingy because Miami the year before got screwed, like the city of Miami got screwed by the Miami Marlins when they were told, yeah, we're not gonna let go of anybody. Literally 3 years or 2 years prior, they got screwed. Got all that money from the city, the taxpayers, built their stadium, did all this, and that same at the end of that year, traded all their good players. And they're like, what? And became bums. That's when Giancarlo Stanton was gone. All these other big time players that we had that were cheap, young, up and coming. Nope, all of them gone. All of them gone. And that's why people got upset. And that's why Miami refused to pay for um for the Dolphins any taxpayer money because they're like, no, we just got screwed by the Marlins. Nope, we're not paying you any money. So they didn't, and he had to shell out, I think, $500 million to go ahead and do it himself. Like that's what happened. But yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen it. So what she's saying, ladies and gentlemen, she's 1,000% right because you do have to have those things in order for you to get those big games. Nay, Nene. Oh, phone calls. I figured. Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. Um, hey, no worries. I'll tell you this though. Nene, not wrong. And True Color says Fernandez was supposed to be the starting pitcher for 10 years. Unfortunately, he passed away, number 16. But it's just ridiculous, and this is what we're stuck with as a fan base now, ladies and gentlemen. All of this is just frustrating because you would expect for us to, with the amount of support that we give to all these to the team, you'd expect for them to appreciate us in a way by doing their job and by allowing us to to have our winning ways. But the thing is that we're so desperate to matter, to win, that people are content with simply just, oh, we got to the playoffs. Yeah, let's go. Like, nah, that's not enough. I want a Super Bowl. I want a Super Bowl. That's what I want. I want to be able to enjoy, like, people that got to see, the 70s. You know what I mean? The 80s with Marino and 90s with Marino and them. Like, yo, no lie. I literally got to see his retirement year. That's literally, that's it. The 2000. That's it. I ain't seen nothing prior to that. Not really, because I didn't really care about football like that. So for me, it was like, I didn't care. So I didn't know, like, so, and by seeing it, I maybe saw 2 games maybe that season, maybe on TV. With my dad and my brother. Like, that's probably it. But we don't deserve this. We're a legendary team. I just got to watch last night, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Liberty, after 28 years, their entire existence, finally win a championship. Finally win a championship. To see those people with their emotions, I know what it is. I gave my left knee for this Stanley Cup championship. That sucker was tore up for, like, oh God, I'm not even lying to you, like 2 months. 2 months. It was swollen and the skin was exposed and everything. Because there was nothing on this in this beautiful earth that was gonna stop me from celebrating the fact that I got to see my hockey team finally win, after 30 years, finally win the championship. I wasn't gonna miss that. And that's why I also went to the banner ceremony. And I was there. And I enjoyed it. And I had such a blast. I have personally seen my hockey team win a championship. I have seen my basketball team now win one. Oh, there it is. Because y'all know I love my hats. There's my hockey championship hat. Look, I remember my baseball team, my Florida Marlins, win in 1997 and in 2003. I remember those championships. I remember my basketball team winning not 1, not 2, 3. Where is it? Damn it. I'm missing a hat. Oh no, it was underneath this one. I remember when we won our first championship for Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, and that young man in Dwayne Wade. I remember this championship going down the street in a parade with my family, enjoying it. I remember when we won in 2012 and then we came back and won again in 2013. I remember that. You know what I don't remember? I don't remember the last time my team, because I wasn't even born. My parents were babies. And I mean, like, babies, toddlers, when this team won. Super babies when they won. So I don't know what it is. So see my team. The last time this team made it, I mean, guys, you realize the most wins we've ever had In the last 25 years, 11 wins, and that was still when we ran the Wildcat with Tony Sperano. That's the most wins we've had in a single season. And it was 16 games back then. Probably, Billy. You probably can be my dad. Just honest. Tim Hardaway definitely played for Miami in 2006. Yeah. Yeah, I feel very confident in saying that. I could be wrong, I could be mistaken. Maybe he retired the year before. Maybe. But I feel very confident that he was. I want to know what it feels like to see my favorite football team finally win the Lombardi Trophy. Wouldn't that be something, guys? I know we'll win. But when? When will we win? He was coaching in 2006? No, y'all about to make me go into this Google. I'll Google this. I mean, again, I could be wrong, but Miami Heat 2006 roster. I know it was Shaq, obviously. Shaq, Dwayne, Zoe. Antoine Walker, obviously UD. Gary Payton, my bad. That's who I was thinking of. Gary Payton. Man, what a team. Just taking a look at this team. We had a great team that year. Derek Anderson, Shadon Anderson, Earl Barron, Michael Doliak, Gerald Fitch, UD obviously, Jason Capono, Zoe, Shaquille, Peyton, James Posey, I remember him, Wayne Simeon, D Wade, obviously, Anton Walker, man, I feel bad for everything that happened. Matt Walsh, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, Darrell Wright, like, come on, man. We had an awesome team. Like, what an amazing, awesome team we had. I'm a big Heat fan too, yeah. You're right. Impact overtook Sam Van Gundy couldn't get it done. I remember that. And then after that he went to was it TNT or ABC? He went to do the commentating. I remember that. Thank you, Michael K. Yes, I'm aware. As they should, you know what I mean? As they should. You know what? I'm thinking of bringing my Miss Heat channel up and going, guys. If you guys support it, because I love the Heat, I would love to go ahead and maybe do like a weekly show, once a week, just to talk about the Heat. You know how we're doing and things like that. Yeah, I definitely want to go ahead and do that and get it started this year. But I have something else for you guys. I need your help. So I don't know if you guys know this. This is Fan Club Weekend. Fan Club Weekend is this this weekend over here for the for the, oh my gosh. Let me see if he's, yeah. This weekend is a fan club weekend. So Saturday we have an event. I'm gonna get the details. Hopefully I can get them today, and I'll show you guys tomorrow the details with it. But we do a major event on Saturday, and then Sunday we like do the big tailgate on East 12 and things like that, guys. So what I'm doing is I'm joining DCC, so Dolphins Cancer Challenge. I don't like to talk about too much of my personal life, but I never wanted to do this until it actually meant something to me, and because of my aunt, I feel like now I can. But she had cancer right now. She's in remission, so um, we're happy about that. You know what I mean? But what I'm doing is I'm gonna be selling the misfit shirts that I showed you the other day, so that way I can raise the funds to donate to the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. And the way I'm doing it is, if you guys, because I know not everybody's gonna be able to be here, but if you guys want to go ahead and donate to the DCC and my team, then I would really appreciate that. That'd be pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. And what I'm gonna do is I will ship out the shirts out to you. So it's not gonna be what do you call it? It's not gonna be um well, let me sorry, let me do this thing. There you go, duplicate. Perfect. So this is the shirt that I showed you guys. It's simple, it's not a lot. Yeah, I know. I don't what do you call it? I don't like to talk too much about, you know, this is why I tell you guys real life is real life. And sometimes we forget that, you know. Um I'm so sorry to hear that. Definitely so sorry to hear that, Michelle, honestly. But the shirt is very simple. It's gonna be, you know, like this to support the channel, obviously. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use those funds and I'm gonna donate them. I personally want to raise $1,000 for DCC. Obviously, all of this is coming out of my pocket because I gotta, you know, pay for the shirts and do all that stuff. But you know, if you guys want to go ahead and help me out, I can definitely ship them to you. I'm trying to see if I can get the cheapest amount of shipping so it doesn't cost that much. But if you guys are interested, just in supporting DCC with me, and I'm gonna try to do it later on in the year, but really I want to go ahead and do it this weekend because it's, you know, such a huge weekend. Um, you just let me know if you can email me. Email me at missfins@yahoo.com. Missfins@yahoo.com. Let me know if you're interested in getting one of these shirts. Again, actually, I meant to do this. Create a banner so you guys can see it. It is Miss Fins at, oh gosh, I can't even spell my own thing. Miss Fins at yahoo.com. And then what I'm gonna do is just email shirt size and um what is it called? And how many, you know, like and then number you want. There you go. I'll do that. That way it's easy. So yeah, so it's missfins@yahoo.com, guys. I really want to go ahead and get to that $1,000 to be able to donate that to DCC. Because you know, I didn't want to do it before. Not because I didn't care for it. It's just whenever I do something, at least me personally, I really want to have something that I can relate to it. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to go ahead and support, I really appreciate it. Small, medium, large, extra large. Let me know, how many you want. I figured, I honestly, I don't even know how to price them. I know how much the cost is, so I'm not even gonna tell you guys what that is. But I figure maybe $25 a shirt. That's kind of standard for when I see everybody always selling merch. If I'll make it $25 a shirt, and if you guys want to give anything extra than that, that'd be great. Um, but yeah, just go ahead and let me know, and then that way, I can give you the details and things like that. But I'm gonna have them in person. Uh, I'm gonna have them in person for Saturday. I just want to see, because I know a lot of us are, you know, you guys just see me here. We don't get a chance to actually, some of you guys can't come over, so I want to go ahead and do that. And I think this is a great way for us to raise some money. Um, the channel gets some awareness with you guys, promoting the channel. Thanks. And then it's actually not even gonna look just like that. It's a little bit different look. It's got some aqua on the outline, the final one that I sent over. So but yeah, it's gonna be somewhat like this, a little bit higher, a little bit bigger. So you guys, representing the channel. And feel free. That's why I tell people, I'm like, man, you can wash your laundry with it. You can go to groceries. You can whatever you want. And when people ask you, just say, hey, like and subscribe to Miss Phins. But also too, I get the channel awareness, and then also able to make a difference and impact for Dolphins Cancer Challenge. So I can't wait to hear from you guys. If you can, again, just email me. That's my email right there. Miss Phins, MISSPHINS. It just makes it easier for me. If you guys can do so that way I can what do you call it? I can go ahead and um and see, how many, because the thing is they already asked I have to have a certain minimum amount. So um what is it? Technically, if I really want to reach my goal, I'm probably gonna sell them for like $50, but I'm hoping that, if it's 25, maybe you guys might want to buy more than one. But yeah, so go ahead and let me know, guys. Again, missfince@yahoo.com. And just email me your t-shirt size and how many of them you want. Small, medium, large, extra large is what the ones that I want. My regular merch stuff, guys, I'm still working on that, and I'm working on the website too. Okay. And coming up with some creative stuff for you guys as well. But I figured, why not? I wanted to start out with charity because I was brought up to always give. Always give, always give, always give, always give. And in turn you will receive, one way or another. When you bless other people, you get many blessings. And for me, I feel very blessed that I've had such a great life so far. And I want to be able to bless others too. And I know that Dolphins Cancer Challenge, it is the biggest event for the NFL, fundraising event for the NFL throughout all teams. So now that I have something to, that I could put on it, and somebody that I can champion with it with my aunt, um, I feel like I can do it. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a sorority, and when I was an undergraduate, I had anorexia nervosa and associated disorders, and cystic fibrosis foundation as well. And I actually had one of my sorority sisters and her brother pass away because of that. So that's why for me, I you gotta be grateful. At the end of the day, you have to be grateful for what you have. You know, we may not always have the best things or the most or whatever, but gratitude really does get you to where you want to go, you know? And for me, I'm just so grateful for everybody in my life and everything that I've been able to do that I just want to continue to pay it forward. So this is the easiest way that I could thought, you know what, this will be fun, you know. At least I get some, you know, marketing out there and we really do it for organizations that I know is making a difference. And for me, that's um that's what's important. So there you go, guys. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know. So if you want to go ahead and do so, just email me, and I can ship them to you. So that way I can do it. If you don't mind covering the shipping, I'm gonna try to get it as least as possible. Obviously, I think the post office might be the best one to do it. But if you don't mind doing that, that'd be great because that way I can just ship them out to you, however many you guys may want to go ahead and do it. But that's all I need. Just your email me your shirt size or sizes that you want and how many of them, and then I'll be able to do it. I know I have small, medium, large, and extra large. To be able to go ahead and get that done. If you need 2XL or 3XL, you literally gotta email me by like 1 o'clock today. Because that's the only way that I can see if they can go ahead and squeeze it in there. But yeah, everybody, just go ahead and let me know. Thank you so much, guys. Again, this is Miss Phins. I'm Miss Phins. You guys have been awesome as always, as usual. You guys are the best. Thank you for letting me rant because I feel like today I needed to. I know sometimes we don't get the chance to, but boy oh boy oh, I needed to rant today. Today was a rant that was much needed. That's for sure. I'll tell you that. That's why I warned everybody. Today's gonna be PG-13, people. Cause at this point, man, shoot, this team, I'm telling you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much again. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Everybody watching on Twitter and Twitch, man, you guys are literally the best. Thank you. And if you're on Twitter and Twitch and you want to go ahead and get one of the teachers t-shirts we're using for the fundraiser, guys, again, it'll be 25 and then plus the cost of shipping if I need to ship it to you, which shouldn't be more than $5 to be honest with you. But definitely go ahead and let me know. You can DM me, guys. You don't have to just email me. You can DM me on Twitter, Instagram. You can email me again, so that way you guys can go ahead and let me know whether you want, you know, how many shirts you want, what are the sizes, and that way I can go out and ship it out to you guys. But once you do get the merch, if you guys can take a picture, I'd really appreciate it because it'll be great. And then that way, you know, we could all support a great organization like the Dolphins, but really for something that matters, that's real life. You know what I mean? So, guys, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for coming through again. You guys are literally the best, and there's nothing that I could do without you guys. So, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye bye.